Guys, let's get in with Aviator Dan here and see what's going on. See what he's got to say about all you crazy guys. All aboard Bitcoin Express. Yeah.
Penis.
Let's see here. Let me see here. Make sure my stuff is set up right. And yeah. Okay. Mr. Aviator?
How we doing, brother?
Hey, there you are. How's it going?
It's going, man. Just came up from some breakfast down at the hotel, so
delicious.
I'm ready to go for at least 7 hours.
Heck yeah. Happy holidays.
Oh, holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy everything. It's good to hear from you. Good that you're well fed this morning, of course. Nice.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Behind on the eating.
No. You never mess around with food. No.
No, but I'm doing good, man. Just a fun day yesterday. Tired as hell from that, but now we're down here at the hotel. Got 30-hour layover. Got to wake up at 2:40 in the morning to get ready then. So right now, just relaxing.
Oh, right on. All right. Well, good. Hang on. Let me move us to a private channel. 1 second here. Anyway, a little more private. This way no one can mess with us. Excellent. Oh, wow.
I understand you want to have me in a private channel just so you got me all to yourself.
If I can get Aviator Dan in a corner to myself, I'm gonna do it. And this is my outlet right here. This is my avenue. We're locked in the cockpit right now, or the flight deck, or whatever's appropriate these days. I think it's funny that someone asked a question in the Discord, Boeing or Airbus, and I'm pretty sure I can answer it, but I'll let you answer it.
I'm on the Boeing right now, and the plane itself, God, I love flying the plane. I am switching to the Airbus, but that's purely for commutability. One of my good buddies, he just finished training on the Airbus, and he says it's so much more comfortable. The cockpit is a lot bigger in there. You can fit it so when I put my bags on the 737, I have to put my suitcase in the back of the plane. We're not at the very back, but in the little galley area. But the Airbus, the flight deck is so huge that everything, even if you got jump seaters, all the bags can go up there. So if you got a long flight too, you can get up and move around. Like the 737 was really more, I don't want to say a regional type plane,
right?
That they just kept making bigger to do long haul stuff. That's pretty much how it was designed to pilot for the flight deck wise. But like I said, I'm going to be switching the Airbus soon. And my buddy, he says he's like, you can't do a bad landing on it. It's easy as hell to fly. Yeah, he says it pretty much does everything for you. And I'm like, I don't know if I like that because I like hand flying quite a bit.
Right.
But we're going to see how it goes because right now I commute from Tennessee to D.C.
Right.
And there's only like two to three flights a day versus I'm going to go to Charlotte. And we have like 7 or 8 direct flights there a day that I can commute on, or I can drive. So come probably April, I'll give you an idea of what I think about the Airbus then.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of curious to see how how you'll sway either way after you've had plenty of time to fly both. But I get, if you hand fly, it's going to be a different experience with the Airbus, right? Because it doesn't have the typical control to fly. It's got a little stick on the side, right?
Yeah. So I learned to fly with a side stick on the Cirrus SR20. But they say the Airbus, it's so you're not really controlling it, whereas the Boeing, you're actually feeling all the inputs through the yoke that you're doing.
Right.
You can feel it all, but the Airbus, it's all electronically, so you're pretty much just telling it to do something, and it's going to do it for you. So there's not as much feel to it. Like I say, this is just me talking to from Airbus pilots that I've talked to, trying to figure out if I want to switch to it.
Right.
They just say it's a completely different experience.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, yeah, you kind of in the sim you get that experience also because the Airbus appears to be very uh self-controlled. It just goes. But there's got to be a way to override all that and do what you need to do. But yeah, it's got to be different if you don't have the same feeling, right? Because you're kind of feeling a lot of feedback through the yoke now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of old school. They call it flying by the seat of your pants.
Mhm.
I mean, you can still do that in the Airbus. You can feel like if I'm coming in the lane, you can feel when you're hitting an air pocket. It's like, all right, I'm having to take out some power right now, and so obviously I'm going to have to add it once I get on the other side of this pocket.
Mhm.
Things like that. You can just feel it. So you'll still be able to do all that stuff, but the Airbus, it's all auto throttle. Like once you set the throttles in, you do not touch them again. Whereas Boeing, so let me say that again. So the Airbus, once you set the throttles into the takeoff position, they
Mhm.
don't really get moved again.
Right.
Versus, and even when it's making power changes, they don't move. Versus the 737, it anytime it's making changes, the throttles actually move. I like that because I
Right.
can see what the hell it's doing, and also I can override it. But you can do the same with the Airbus, I imagine, if you take it out of the mode that it's in. But more than that, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. Yeah. In the at least in the sim, you could turn the auto throttle off, and then it you can move it around and adjust your power. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, of course, yeah, that would be silly if you wouldn't be able to do that at all. Imagine that the computer is failing and all the systems are fine, and it just nosedives you because you can't adjust the throttle yourself.
I mean, hey, things have happened kind of like in the Max, but we won't
Right.
go too much
Yeah.
into
No. Yeah.
that.
That's yeah. That. Yeah. Uh huh. It's software problems. Software problems. We're just gonna update it with a floppy drive.
Yeah, update it with pilots with better training. But yeah,
Right. Or yeah. Hey, did you know this thing was on this plane? No. Oh. Sorry.
it's those minor details, man. Can't worry about that stuff.
Yeah. Those are big details, though, right? Like a lot of things like that get overlooked. I remember reading about that, and I was like, that's ridiculous. There's everything is working perfectly, and there's such like a small error, and it turns into a big thing. Um.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
technically, the plane did what it was supposed to do, but they didn't know. So the first crash, they just didn't have enough time to react. The second crash, they did the correct procedure. They turned the system off. Everything was fine. Then they turned it back on, and that's when they crashed.
Yeah. I wouldn't have turned it back on.
Yeah, so we can't really say why they did it.
Right.
Um, like they were trying, I think they had so much trim in it. If they would have just manually trimmed the wheel, it would have been fine. Like so, there was so much um, nose back pressure, or no, sorry, nose down pressure that they were having to pull it like crazy. And when you put all that pressure on the control yoke, it makes the manual trim wheel harder to move. So they had to release some of the pressure for a second, crank the
Oh,
wheel a few times, and then go back and forth. And that would have saved them.
man. What a mess, right?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
You don't have
all
time.
all our
Yeah.
all procedures for airlines are written in blood. You hate to say it,
Of
but
course.
that's why we're so safe now,
Right.
is because we've learned from our past,
Yeah.
and
If it,
hopefully nothing happens else. But it's also how we get safer.
it's true. It is how we get safer. It's just sad when it's when it's such a I hate to say like a silly type of error or a silly thing or something, you know, that could have been so easily avoided. But yeah, I wish that were the same for cars. You can get in accidents every day, nothing changes.
Yeah, I haven't learned a thing about cars. I still drive reckless as anything.
Yeah. You get one bad intersection when they have traffic and accidents all the time, and nothing changes about it. Things like that. I have a very important question that came through the Discord here, and it's from your friend. Have you ever had to shit really bad but couldn't leave the cockpit?
Oh, all the time.
I
More
just yeah.
so, yeah, it's more so when I was a check airman at my regional airline that I worked for. So that's when you're in the process. I might have said this on the previous stream, but I'll try to touch on it. So when you get hired on at the airlines, you do the simulator stuff and all that. but you're not fully signed off until you actually go flying in the real plane and do a bunch of stuff that we need to get boxes checked. And so chances are you might have a brand new pilot that's never been on a jet before up there.
Mm-hmm.
Very small chances, but it's a learning experience, and you have to do it. The airlines aren't going to pay money for us to just go fly jets around with empty planes, not making any money.
Right. Of
So, but
course.
there's
Yeah.
times where I would get students where they just weren't catching on as fast and they would just fall behind. So I could not trust them up there by themselves yet.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, when you eat a lot of airport food, my wife can tell you, I've gotten a lot of food poisoning from places, and I still
Oh.
go to them. And yeah, it
Oh.
sometimes hits you, and you got to do what you got to do.
Oh.
There was another time where we were taxiing out from Charlotte. This was at my regional too. Thank
Mm-hmm.
goodness I really don't have too many stories for mainline yet.
Like
But
shit related.
yeah, and we're taxiing out where it's 10:30 p.m. at night push, and I had just had salsaritas or Burger King. I don't remember. I've gotten equal amounts of food poisoning from both of them.
Oh.
But my stomach starts hitting me, and I'm like, oh hell, I can make it to the hotel. We'll be fine. So then we push off the gate, and the fueler, he put all our fuel in the center tanks and not as much in the outside. So there was a rule limitation about you could only have so much in the center tank versus the outsides for the weight and balance purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to go to a hard stand area and wait for the plane to balance itself out. And then the stomach hits me again. I'm like, oh shit, I can wait till we get in the air. And then by that time, Charlotte, it was late at night. They go into a noise abatement procedure where all their runways are shut down, but one,
Okay.
5 and 2-3 that they don't use anymore. But so I asked around, I'm like, hey, what number are we for takeoff? They're like, about 18 or 20. I'm
Oh.
like, oh Jesus, I'll be back. So I take off, run into the back of the plane. And I tell the captain, just ding the seatbelt sign when we're getting close. And I go back there, I destroy it. And all of a sudden, I start hearing the seatbelt ding, and I have to yell, "I'm not ready!"
I can. Were there a lot of people on that plane?
Oh yeah, it's like that plane held 50, so I imagine it was pretty full. And I'm not bashful at all.
Well, sure.
Everyone's got to go. So there's
No.
been times where I've had to make comments where we get stuck on the ramps, like, ladies and gentlemen, your captain's had a lot of water today. He's got to take a leak. You're about to see that man running through the aisle. Just let it go.
That's what I was saying. What kind of walk do you do through the aisle when it's an emergency? Is it excuse me, everything is fine, everyone. It's me, not you. We gotta everything is fine. It's me.
Hey, people, every time I do it, it's like people are laughing. I'm like, everyone's been in the situation. It sucks. There's nothing you can do about it. You got to make do with what you got.
Of course,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, all pilots have those stories. I flew with one guy. He did Grand Canyon tours in a plane with no autopilot, and it was a single pilot deal. Food poisoning hit him, and there's no bathroom on his plane or anything, and he
Oh
can't leave the
no.
controls. So
Oh
he said
no.
what he had to do was pull his pants down, put a sick bag down there, and just try to go Cartman style on the World of Warcraft episode. And
Oh my god.
yeah,
I had to bake a beauty. Someone says, "Oh my god."
yeah. There's times you got to make do with what you got, man.
How can a plane have no resource for any kind of like emergency situation like that? Even like some kind of hole in the floor where you just put your butt on it and sit.
Oh God, could you imagine the people on the ground? What the hell?
Emergencies, emergency is an emergency, sure, but I mean, damn.
I don't know if they had something like that. It might not be an emergency every time. I might just fly over some house I don't like, and so they better not give me that option.
What just happened to our car, honey? We've been damned again. What? That plane that flew over? It was that. Yeah, that brown chunk in the windshield. I know who that's from. He put a little message in with it and send it down.
Hey, my old call sign for the airline used to be Blue Streak, and now it's turned into the Brown Streak.
Brown Streak. Oh my God, the Brown Streak's coming in. This kind of is on what you were saying about the noise abatement. That someone said that there was an airport in California that has a really strict noise abatement that makes departures very steep and fun. I wonder what that means.
I imagine he's talking about, I would guess, Orange County, John Wayne Airport, SNA. There's a lot of things that make that airport fun. One being the runway is so short but there's so much business in and out of there. We still send our big jets, the 737 Airbus is in there.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I don't know if the Airbus really goes in there. The 737's got better takeoff performance, but yeah, that runway you're pretty much doing max all the time. And my wife hates taking off out of there because she says she gets dizzy during the takeoff because of how steep you're climbing out. But yeah, so in busy areas, DC's like it too. At certain times, the rich people complained enough where they moved close to an airport, but they don't like the noise. So we have to go do certain procedures about getting out of their area as fast as we can.
That's interesting.
Like it's and honestly, it honestly makes no sense. A lot of them because it requires us to use higher takeoff performance on our engines,
We're louder then.
and yeah, it makes it louder. So I'm like,
But
whatever. It's
yeah. Yeah, so a lot of it doesn't make sense. It was a management decision, and management decisions never make sense to anyone. They're always so backwards sometimes. I
oh
feel
yeah, it's
like
like
I
you move next to an airport and you complain about the noise. Who's at fault, really?
uh something like that happened here kind of where I live, not airport related, but there's a drag strip here. A long time drag strip that's here, and there's a lot, just on Sundays for like 4 hours, a lot of cars go there and drag the strip. They pay, it's safe and everything. It's a drag strip track. And then people built their houses around it and now complain about it.
Yeah,
And it literally is like in the news. It's like, what did you think? You built your house here, built like so. You were here, you checked the area out, like, and then complain about it. It's a little ridiculous. Same thing with the
yeah, it's making
airplanes.
me love our population so much.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a sense of entitlement, and
Mm.
my thing is, if you don't own the land, yeah, can't really say much.
Wow. Yeah, it's true, and there's nothing that they can do. They just complain around, make politics and stuff. But someone asked what your scariest experience flying was, and I think someone asked that last time, and it was the time he probably had to punch a dude in the chest and get his hands off the controls and save yourself. Or was
Yeah,
that the
yeah, that.
most fun? Or was that the most fun afterwards? Like, woo! Like,
Well, that was like I said, that guy tried to sue me, but yeah, that's probably the
luckily
closest
he's
I came to
alive to try to
dying.
sue you. I would have been
Yeah,
like, you're
seriously.
lucky you're able to sue me, idiot.
Yeah, that another one of them people. But
Oh,
all right, so I told that story.
you got
Probably
another
the
one?
next closest one.
Yeah.
Man, there's all sorts of stories.
Oh
That's what I was
God.
telling the wife. She was like, "Yeah, your stories are just so interesting." I'm like, "Yeah, but hell, I've had so many happen, I don't remember half of them."
Right.
Um,
Oh, I know that feeling too.
did you? I tell you about the one going into Charlotte where we about hit another plane? Not our fault, but
I think where you did you like call air traffic control and start screaming at trying to find out who that guy was?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's that's the one I about met him at the gate, and that's when I had to call the wife
Mm-hmm.
to calm me down. But yeah, so all right. I don't think I told this one. Um, so, like I said, I was a check airman at my regional airline. We had a program. It was called the Rotocraft Transition, and what it was is pretty much for military guys that would come in and they did a transition course for them so they could go from rotocraft to fixed wing, and we could get them working for the airline quicker.
Mm-hmm.
This was 50-50 how these guys actually performed in the plane, and it's no fault of their own. It's they were rushed through the system. There are some guys that were amazing, and then there's other ones. It was just holy crap. But there was this one guy, and he was doing absolutely perfect. But we were coming into land. I don't remember the airport. It might have been Charlotte. But
Split. No.
as we come up to the flare portion, for some reason he went hard over on the rudder, and that's not a good time. It dips
Uh
the wing like crazy. About did a wing strike, and I didn't even have time to yell my controls. It was just pretty much I took controls of the plane, threw max power in, tried to get away from the ground.
right.
That was a pretty scary moment. And he's like, I don't know what happened, man. Just the old habits kicked in, working because the helicopter guys are constantly working their feet.
Right.
Us, not so much. We're doing very little movement on the rudder. But yeah, that was a pretty fun one.
Wow. Yeah, I guess it's a different type of flying, of course. Wow. And what do you think would have happened if the wing hit the ground?
I would have been dead. Yeah, it
Really?
would have Yeah, if the chances are if the wing would have hit, it would have dug in somewhere. It probably would have catapulted us or something like that, or it could just rip the wing off, and then the rest of the plane would have just. All right, so I imagine if it ripped off the right wing, the left wing still creating lift, so it could have like barrel rolled us over, and then we would
Right.
just landed on our heads.
Mm.
Anyway, it's going to be a bad day.
Gonna be a bad day. Absolutely. Yeah, that's gonna be bad. But
I mean, my wife would probably get a lot of money, but that I wouldn't get to enjoy it. So
well, you don't know. I mean, you're that close to the ground. It might not exactly be as bad as you think, too, right? I mean, obviously, it's not going to be good,
yeah, I mean,
but
there's
there's
a lot of
help.
crashes that happen close to the ground, and that's a
Yeah,
lot of times that's the ugliest ones
really. Wow.
because you don't have time to react. So
True. I just feel like if it's at an airport too, there might be help nearby.
well, the airports. Don't quote me on this part, but so you have the bigger airports. There are fire stations all over the airport. I want to say they have to be able to get to anywhere on the airfield. 90 seconds is ringing in the back of my head, but 3 minutes is sitting there too. But they have to be able to get to any portion of the airport in that amount of time. So that's why a lot of airports, like Chicago, Charlotte, Dallas, you see airport stations all over the place just so they can meet that requirement.
Which is nice.
Oh yeah, it's good to know that they're there. And anytime you ask them to roll the trucks, they're out there pretty quick. They do practicing all the time. You'll even see it sometimes if you see a huge cloud of smoke, black smoke at the airport. Chances are that's them practicing putting out a plane. They have a lot of the airports. They have planes that were decommissioned. They've taken
Hmm.
everything out of them and they set them on fire just so they can practice putting them out.
Yeah, that's good. And the regular fire departments do that too, right? They have those little burner houses and they practice on it. Uh,
Oh yeah, I imagine so.
I'm,
More than that, I have no clue.
it adds to the unpredictability, I guess, when they do those scenarios because you
Yeah,
never know what might happen.
it's all about them where they want to focus, putting out the fire, then trying to get to the emergency exits, things like that.
Right. Um. Uh. How far do you think something has to be before it's considered like a real emergency? Have you had like a real emergency in the air that's not related to having to go poop?
Uh, I've had engine failures in flight more so when I was doing general aviation stuff. Like I think I told you that story where the engine died on me and I stayed in the traffic pattern. A guy was wanting me to test out his engine,
Mm.
and
Mm.
but in the airlines, the closest thing I've had is a flap failure where they failed in
Uh,
the up position. So I diverted. I didn't declare an emergency because I wasn't worried about it. There's guys that say that they would declare an emergency on it, and then there's guys that say they wouldn't.
just a.
It's situation by situation basis.
Mm.
Just depends. Like how long's your runway? How much do you weigh? So how fast are you going to be coming in? It's going to be heating up your brakes a lot more. There's just a lot of things to look into it.
Gotcha.
But actual emergencies, no. With the airlines, no. That's about the only one I've had. They keep the planes up really well, so
Of course. Yeah.
yeah, this stuff usually. I mean, stuff almost never happens, but when it does, it's all over the news and everything because it's so rare and people freak out about it. But like I say, we're the safest mode of transportation.
Yeah. Which is always I love that. That's good to hear. Um. Uh. We a question like, what do you think of Atlanta? And I think we asked last time, but I'm not sure you actually had like a most hated airport. But someone asked, yeah, what's the most hated airport? But yeah, what do you think of Atlanta? That's specific.
Atlanta, I'll give Atlanta this. It is an amazingly well designed airport because of how the terminals are laid out and how the runways are laid out. It's so easy to get in and out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And then with how they have their their arrival procedures, and they blend right into the ILS or the approach procedures. Um, it's so easy to get in and out of that place. It does get busy,
Right.
especially if weather hits. I mean, you'll go into holding and stuff like that. But that's all airports. But Atlanta's really well designed.
Nice.
Usually when I do go to Atlanta, it's in between Delta's pushes. So you have these push times where a lot of the planes are coming in and out at the same time, just so they can get the passengers all on the flights that they need to be on.
Right.
And since we're not part of Delta, we usually in between those blocks. So I've never been at Atlanta when it's crazy busy, but I imagine it's pretty much about the same as any other. Yeah, I mean it gets busy, but hey, they're moving planes like crazy.
Yeah, that's and they get it under control, which is pretty cool. Do you know any pilots like me? I don't know what kind of
Uh,
question that is, but that was someone asked that kind of question. I'm like, okay, kind of curious. Any pilots like me? I don't know anyone that any that you pass in the hallway and they just go, penis when they walk by. Just keep going.
hey, there's a lot of us that are smartasses, man. Um, we can put on a real professional face, but we like to have fun. They say it's the type A personality, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know about all that. But I mean, chances are we're all guys, and the women too. It's like hanging out with guys. We like shooting the shit. We
Sure.
have a good time when we come to work. There are those ones that you can't stand flying with. Like
Mm.
I had a trip a few, 2 or 3 trips ago, and the wife put in an emergency order for some good old shine through the brother-in-law, and
Mm-hmm.
because she knew I needed something strong to burn the memories out of that trip.
Uh,
But no, for the most part, you get along. It's all guys that love having fun. So yeah, you find a lot of guys that have that type of personality you got.
okay.
So you'd fit right in, man.
I
I'm just
would.
saying,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, and yeah, I know. Be honest with you, since our last conversation, I've thinking about it a lot. My girlfriend will tell you she's not around right now, but yeah, a lot. And interesting. So yeah, you that's
Hey,
good.
it ain't like I said, man. It's never too late. You want this life is short. You want to live it to the fullest. You want to do something that you love, and if flying's what you love, get in there, man. Like I trained guys at the regional airline that were like 55, and they just wanted to do it. They said they retired from their other jobs, and they're like, I just wanted to see if I could do it, and I loved it, so they just
Interesting.
pursued their dream.
Right? Is it really a job?
So the actual flying portion, there's nothing better. Like every time I take off or coming in land, I'm able to look all around me, look at the scenery, think about what's going on, and I'm like, there's nothing that I'd rather do. Then there's times where you just want to slap the hell out of some people, but whether that's people you work with, passengers, or
Right.
dealing with rampers, things like that. But I mean, it's part of it
Sure.
where I mean, everyone's trying to work towards the same goal. You just get frustrated sometimes, and you got to slow yourself down. Try to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Try to make them comfortable or get them on the same page that you are. It's like,
Right.
let's get this job done. Then I can go to the hotel and go to sleep.
Nice. Yeah. So it's a regular job, except you get like a lot of fun time. You get to have a lot of fun. Is there a lot of homework? You have a lot of homework from when you're outside the plane.
So every quarter we have to do. They call it required distance learning. They put it on the iPad. It's like I want to say it's usually like 2 hours of pretty much PowerPoint type things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
But we just go through there and they'll just talk about different things, just keeping us current on them. And then once every, now, well, they just changed it. It's once a year now. We have to go into the actual schoolhouse, and we're there for 5 days. We do recurrent ground school, few like 3 or 4 days in the simulator. Just get going over all our procedures, all the emergency stuff. They set us on fire a bunch,
Whoa,
try to kill us, and
whoa,
see
whoa! They
what we do.
actually set you on fire?
Well, in the simulator, yeah,
Oh my
yeah, they'll.
god!
Oh, simulator, man, it's there's they call it D-Day most places,
Mm-hmm.
but it's usually the day is 2 lessons before your final one, where they just throw the book at you. Like when I was upgrading to captain at my regional, they want to see what you can handle and like what's going to push you over the edge, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did one flight. They gave me an engine failure right at rotation for takeoff. I think it was Atlanta. So I come back, and this is in a thunderstorm. I come back around, just kind of laying back. My left engine catches fire, the one that failed. So
Right.
then I have to go from engine failure procedures to engine fire procedure. We get that taken care of. Flight attendant calls back, calls from the back when really it's just the guy controlling the simulator. But it's you try to play it, role play as
Of
best as you
course.
can with it.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, we got a passenger back here having a heart attack." I'm like, "Son of a
Oh my God.
bitch!" uh, so that's like another reason to get on the ground quicker. And so we're coming in. I come. So we're in Atlanta, and it's like something like a 12,000 foot runway. I got plenty of room, but like I said, there's a thunderstorm in the area.
Mhm.
So they're saying, "Hey, wind shear warnings over the touchdown zone. I don't know what. Let's say plus 30 knots, something like that." Which not horrible, but when it's gusty, it can be fun. Um, so I bring it back in, and I get a huge gust of headwind as I'm flaring. So that
Idiot.
just makes me float like crazy.
Right.
And I'm getting a wind shear warning that's flashing red. So actual procedure is as soon as it starts flashing red, you're supposed to go around immediately. I'm in an emergency situation. I have single engine. Um, oh yeah, he also set my cargo bin on fire at that before this
What?
too, and I
Damn.
forgot about that part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
though.
plane is
So
doomed.
oh yeah, it's a good plane, man. But there's not much we can do about the cargo fires. It's just getting it on the ground. They have a slow release of halon that is it being ejected into the cargo bins.
Mhm.
So it's just about getting on the ground quick. So I want to get this plane down, even though it's telling me wind shear procedures are to go around. So I'm like, all right, I got plenty of runway. I'm going to try to get this thing down. And I just keep floating. And I think he's adding more and more headwind to me, just keeping me airborne. So I finally said, screw it. All right, we're going around. And then I come back around again, busting speed limits just because screw this. Don't care about regulations. We're getting on the ground.
Emergency.
And then,
Yeah,
yeah.
emergency.
Yeah, in emergency situations, you're pretty much allowed to do what you got to do.
Right, emergency,
And
right? Like, yeah, you're the pilot. I mean, you're the captain. You're
yeah,
yeah, you got to make that choice, right? That's
oh yeah.
yeah.
As long as you can defend any choice that you made, you're good. But yeah,
Plane
come back
landed.
around
Everyone
again.
survived. You
Yeah, exactly. And he
know?
and he wanted to hear my reasoning of why I didn't go around immediately. And I'm like, yeah, because you put me on fire, and I wanted on the ground. I have a guy having a heart attack in the back. I'm trying to make sure he stays alive. And he's like, all right, good call. So
Cool.
yeah, there's those sim lessons where they throw everything at you, just wanting to see how you handle it.
Well, consider this though. Consider this: engine failure and fire during takeoff. 90-year-old lady sitting like right behind the wing, right? There's a good chance that all of a sudden, when something crazy on a plane happens, you can have several people having a heart attack on a plane.
Oh yeah, I mean it's totally possible, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And like anytime a medical situation type thing happens, if it's something like that, 9 times out of 10 we're rolling the trucks and having some stairs meet us on if it's a bigger plane, and doctors are getting on board right away.
Which is good. But the that's crazy though in the simulation that they're gonna put you through that, and I think it's awesome though. Like it's like a little up training that you guys have to go through, and they have to check and make sure everyone is good every year. Someone said in the chat that they have to go into the simulator. Their brother has to go in 4 times a year. I guess it
Dang.
depends on where you are and what what you're doing.
Yeah. So my regional airline, we had to go in twice a year. Then they got it changed to once to every 9 months. Um, Now where I'm at, it's once a year. It's all about their training program, how the FAA approves it. So they have to submit their training curriculum to the FAA, and
Hmm.
the FAA has to sign off on it. And now you're starting to get guys that aren't going to the sim as often, but when they are there, they're there for longer. And it's because we're getting so far behind on training, mostly due to COVID.
Right.
And now they're hiring like crazy. Like where I'm at now, they're trying to hire 2,200 pilots in the year 2022. So the sims are just completely packed. So they're trying to get guys in there as quick as they are. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
don't want us coming back 2-3 times a year. They want to get it done, but they also want to keep us safe.
Of
So
course. Yeah, yeah. The it should be safe. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it makes perfect sense. And COVID has screwed everything up. And I know that there's still a pilot shortage, isn't there? They're still looking for pilots left and right. I'm seeing all over the place.
Well, I mean, yeah, there is a pilot shortage when kinda. The big issue is the quality of life. I mean, there's a lot of corporate pilots out there that don't want to come to the airlines just because they get a better quality of life through
Mm,
where they're at. Now they're home more often. They may not get paid as much, but it's all about being home for them, being able to control their lives more.
sure.
So the unions and the companies have to get the contracts better to make it more desirable for people to want to pursue this job. And also with the cost of flight training, like I don't know if I said, but
No, you did.
I took out $100,000 loan for my flight training, and it's just so expensive to do.
Yeah.
So they got to, and my first year at the airline, I made $16,000. Like I said, that's better now, but they got to make it more uh, desirable to want to come and do this.
Well, I know there's a lot of rules too, right? About your like appearance and stuff as well. Like they have rules about like your face being shaved and things like that.
Oh yeah, you have to be
Yeah.
clean shaven
Yeah.
every day, so you'd have to lose your beard.
Right, like there's a
Um,
lot of things about your life that you like kind of have to give up. Not bad things, of course. Well, I mean, it depends what you're into, but really not impossible bad things. But yeah,
no,
they definitely have a little dictation on some of your out of life work, out of
yeah.
work life.
Well, the facial thing, the facial hair thing, that's all about like if you depressurize, you got to put the oxygen mask on, and if there's anything there inhibiting a clean seal, you're not going to your mask isn't going to get pressurized, so you're not going to be able to keep the oxygen in your body. So that's why they don't allow facial hair.
Oh, okay, that makes
So
sense. I thought it was a look thing.
oh no, it's I mean that might play a small role, but no, it's about so if that oxygen mask doesn't get on you
Right.
and there's not a clean seal there, you're not and
Yeah.
you're at that high of an altitude and depressurizing, the air literally gets sucked out of your body because there's no pressure to hold it in. So yeah, they need that clean seal, so you have to pretty much shave every single day, and that's the reason for that.
That makes sense. I never thought about that. Yeah, okay, yeah. You don't want to pay a pilot passing out because they got a beard.
Yeah, it's those like I said, those minor details.
It is a minor detail. Do you with these like A320s and all these planes that can go over the ocean now? Do you ever foresee yourself switching from like staying within the U.S. to like flying overseas?
Um, so the unions are fighting that pretty hard right now, is because they're requiring pilots to do a lot further flights, and they're not getting the pay for it. First, like so, we have different pay scales for different planes. The wide body guys make quite a bit more than the narrow body guys,
Mm-hmm.
and but now they're making the planes where the narrow body guys can do these further trips, and there's no incentive for it. So the unions are fighting that pretty hard right now. Um, I wouldn't have a problem going overseas or anything. Like I said, I did a lot of island hopping.
Right.
With the way the world is right now, though, with all the lockdowns and everything, it's pretty stressful going outside the country. I expect, like, if you can't go anywhere, get food or anything, things like that,
Right. Right.
it's kind of a pain. But I mean, if things, I have no problem going outside of the country. But the other thing is, my buddy brings up a good point. Like when September 11th happened, air travel just completely stopped. So wherever you were, that's where you were.
Right.
And you couldn't get home. And if you're out of the country, you can't get home. So, but if you're in the country, I can rent a car and get home. So
Right.
that's kind of what's in the back of my head. I'd rather be home. So
Okay.
the trips are better when you do the wide body stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they say, like, you can do, those guys usually work like 9, 10 days a month and make a fortune doing it. But man, being stuck on a plane for like 16 hours, I don't know.
Right. Well,
It's a long time.
that is a long time. That is, and you just kind of you might just really get bored.
Oh yeah, I mean they get breaks and stuff like that, but
Yeah, but I mean that's a
um,
long time of you can't you know anything.
yeah, I can only watch the movie Jersey Boys so many times.
Yes. Oh man, you. Yeah, I can imagine though that would be pretty tedious, especially like if it's dark out. There's really nothing to look at.
No, I only got small experience with this, but once you start doing some of the they call them like the ocean routes, the Atlantic routes, things like
Yeah,
that. We don't have to monitor the radios the same, as because the coverage is so far. There's so little coverage out there
right.
that they'll send us um, the plane will chime because they're trying to call us, and then we have to go to a special frequency that's not on the VHF. It's just HF frequency, so you can't hear it as well. And it's kind of like a phone patch type deal where they call it New York radio, and then those guys translate what you're saying to the actual ATC. ATC will tell the New York radio or whoever you're talking to relay a message to you. So it can get really quiet out
Oh
there.
man, yes, there's a lot
So
of
there's not
waiting.
much to do. Yeah.
Wouldn't they just use
So
like a? I mean, isn't there internet on the planes now?
they're working. It's called CPDLC, where they're starting the ATC so far. Indianapolis has it. Washington D.C. has it. Memphis doesn't. I think Kansas City Center has it. There's only 3 or 4 that have it, but they can send a message to us on the plane. It'll ding at us, and they'll just give us some instruction,
Hmm.
and we can just hit accept on that, and you don't have to clog up the radio with your chatter.
Right.
And you see, with the way I like to run my mouth, yeah, I sometimes talk a little while on the radio. So
Uh,
they're probably trying to focus those on me, like, shut the hell up.
right, right. Well, this is called the anti-Dan box, and then we're gonna put these in each plane now, and it's gonna as soon as the pilot opens his mouth, it beeps, and then you got to type in your request. It's
Oh,
the
that's pretty. And
anti-Dan.
there's sometimes I'll give them hell about it. Like, I'll switch to a frequency. Hey, Washington Center, so and so, how you doing? And about the 30 seconds later, I'll get another message. All right, change the frequency, and I'll come back on the radio. So, oh, you didn't want to talk to me, huh?
Whoops. Man,
Yeah.
okay, all right. There's so many questions right now that are floating around, but this just popped up, and I'm like, what? So I got to ask, why does the de-icing process sound like the plane is being shot up? Last time this particular person flew, they were barely awake, and it scared the shit out of them. Is that right?
um,
Is that just the ice cracking?
well, it's so when they're de-icing the plane, it's kind of like you're getting pressure washed. So they have to do. You have a few steps when it comes to de-icing the plane. First, they have to spray a Type 1 fluid on it that's heated, and I mean it's coming out like a fire hose because they're trying to
Mm,
penetrate the ice, but the liquid gets heated and it's just trying to break off all the ice. We have clean aircraft policies where we cannot have ice on the aircraft at all,
mm-hmm.
except for a little frost in certain portions. Like during, now I won't get into that, but
Right.
sometimes when you refuel, some frost can build up on the wing. As long as it's in a box, you're fine. But
Okay.
so it sounds like he's getting blasted because it's like, imagine going through a car wash. You have that high pressure water hitting you.
Right.
It's pretty loud. So it's the exact same thing. They're spraying you with some very high pressured hoses, spraying the Type 1 fluid on you, trying to get all the ice off of you because you don't want any of that on you because of how it disrupts the airflow over the airfoil.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how much it affects the lift of the wings and
Oh,
everything.
just think about it.
So,
Think about when you get a booger stuck in your nose. How much does that affect the airflow out of your nostril? I mean, Jesus.
oh,
And they're tiny,
yeah,
right? Like, woof.
perfect example right there. But yeah, so then you'll get the Type 1 fluid, and then so then if you have active precipitation falling, they put a Type 4 fluid on, and that's to prevent for anything in the future falling and sticking to you, where it'll just like pretty much melt and fall off of you. So that'll be, you'll see like a green slime on the aircraft. That's what that is, and
Okay.
it only is depending on how heavy the precipitation is, and we have to figure that out. Depends on how long it's good for. So there's places like Chicago, Philadelphia, where in the wintertime it gets really bad, and you might have to go get de-iced 2, and hell, I've even had to do it 3 times. And I've had to go back to refuel twice,
Oh, wow.
and we never even left the ground.
Man.
But yeah, there's times where it gets so busy, but if the snow is falling, I mean, I don't want to take off with it, so you
Yeah.
got to do it. But yeah, so that's all that is. It's just them probably hitting right where he was on the
Just
window,
getting
and
him,
yeah,
just
just
getting
that,
him.
or they saw him in the window. Maybe they're like, "Hey, this guy kind of looks like an asshole." They're
Ma-
like, "What the hell's he doing sleeping? I'm out here in the snow having to work." So,
Yeah, there was I mean, like I flew like a month ago and we got into New York and it was cold, but when we were coming down, when we started descending, I like to pay extra to sit in the emergency row because for the leg room. And the guy sitting on the other side of the plane, they see him starting to like get a little antsy, and he calls over someone and they come over and he starts to point to the window and I'm like, oh man, what's going on? And there's like a little drop of water, driplets coming through on the inside, right? And he sees all the water on the outside of the window going by because we're starting to land, I guess, and he starts freaking out, thinking that the door is open, it's gonna start flying off. And then I look to my left, and there's some water dripping by me too. And I'm like, it's probably just the air conditioner or something. It was nothing crazy, but it was interesting. This guy just thought the whole world was about to end over there. I don't
oh
know.
yeah, chances are it could be like condensation in the
Yeah,
air conditioning
yeah,
lines.
it was definitely just
Um,
condensation. It had to be. I mean, it definitely
yeah,
wasn't a hole in the plane.
well, it's not necessarily. So there are times where like where we're up in the flight deck, so our windows open. We have this the regional jet that I flew. It had an escape hatch above us that we could climb out of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was times fluid and stuff leaked out of that, and all it is when the aircraft is not pressurized, those seals aren't like fully sealed.
Right, because they don't need to
Um,
be anymore either.
yeah,
Yeah,
and when you're close to the ground valves are opening up and everything to get everyone used to the pressure of the field elevation that you're at.
right,
So yeah, when you're coming in, it's not out of the ordinary to see something like that. It's nothing's gonna fly off the plane or anything,
right.
but it happens. It's annoying, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I've always
Yeah,
worried that like someone real crazy sits in the emergency seat and like tries to start prying the door open in the middle of the flight because that one I guess is supposed to be easy to open, but I'm hoping that there's something on there that stops you from opening it unless you're close to the ground.
well, I mean, when
Ugh.
you're pressurized, yeah, it's not going to come open um, because you could
Oh,
get
the
into that. We
vacuum.
have a pressure gauge up there where, and people freak out when you see people. There's crazy people on the plane, and they're talking about how something's on the plane. They're getting out of there. They're trying to open up the door.
Oh
It's
no.
not going to open. There's so
Okay.
much pressure inside of that cabin. I mean, I don't care who you are. You're not opening
Have you ever seen someone do like a ritual when they get on the plane? And I don't mean anything too crazy. Like some people like won't step on a crack. You ever see someone that says like I have to get on and just off the plane really quick, like 6 times before I can feel safe?
No, I haven't seen anything like that. I got a stupid thing where I have to touch the engine. I was like, "Hey, take care of me, honey,"
Oh,
and
that's
I'm like,
not stupid. That's superstitious, isn't it? Like that's all right. Like hey, I
"What?
heard a story that there was a delay once because some lady was superstitious and she threw change at the engine.
Oh, Jesus!" I didn't hear that, but yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was fine. There was just a delay, but yeah, they wanted to take a look, I think.
Yeah, yeah, you don't want any like metal things inside the engine. But
No, no, just soft, fleshy, like people and birds.
I
Uh,
mean, if she wants to make sure it's safe, throw money at the pilots. That'll
right.
motivate me.
uh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
thanks for
oh
this
God, I
10.
don't
I
know.
mean, I wasn't really paying attention this flight, but now you've got my attention.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, there's been some money thrown around like that before.
Oh, I'm sure people, yeah, right?
That
People
is
must get
not
excited.
necessarily from customers, but so we're going to White Plains, New York, and there's a corporate outfit up there called NetJets,
Hmm.
and one of their pilots was commuting on us, and he came up to the flight deck and throws down $100 bill, and he's like, "There's another one in this for you boys if you all get there at midnight 01 or later."
Oh,
And we kind of look at each other and we're like, "Huh." I mean, and that's only like 10 minutes after we're scheduled to get there, anyways.
uh huh.
So it's like, huh, I'm only making 16,000 a year, and he just threw down $100, and he's talking about throwing down another 100. Yeah, we could be a little late.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what the point of that was. Maybe that guy gets paid an extra day if he comes in after
Oh yeah,
midnight.
so we have the same type of thing, but it's ours doesn't kick in until after 2 a.m.
Mm.
So, but yeah, so once it hit 12:01 for him, he got another full day's pay, and he was a captain, whatever their pay rate is. So I
So
imagine he probably got maybe another $1,200 or something like that.
yeah, it was
That
worth
it
it.
was that valuable to him.
Or he had a
And he
bet.
came in. Yeah, hey, maybe that too.
Yeah.
He's like, let's see if these guys will do this. But
Yeah. Yeah.
he came up. He's like, can I see the end time? Showed it to him. He's like, all right, threw down another 100. I'm like, appreciate it.
Nice. Yeah, we'll just take that and keep it quiet. I
Dang right.
That's nice. I know. I think I asked this last time, but it came. A few people asked it. After a hard day of flying the planes and dealing with passengers and other employees and stuff, when you get home and turn on the computer and open up your stuff, do you immediately open up a flight simulator and go for 8 hours and start playing? Probably not.
No, I have the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. I've got the X Plane. Honestly, I haven't been doing too much computer gaming lately. I just haven't had the time.
Sure.
Like, so
So you do have that stuff. Okay.
Yeah, our wedding anniversary is coming up New Year's Eve, and we're heading out to Vegas for it. So I had to do my schedule to where I had a bunch of days at the end of the month off and a bunch of days at the beginning of January off.
Mm-hmm.
And where that's great, I'll have almost 2 weeks off in a row. The rest of the month of it sucks. Where I'm only getting 1-2 days off at home and trying to get everything done, trying to spend time with boss lady because man, she's hot, so I want to spend time with her. And yeah, we love gaming. I mean, hell, I met my wife through video gaming, but
nice.
Yeah, it's I just haven't had the time. Raunchy got me into playing a little bit of flight sim again, but I can't do the stuff where what's it called, bat sim or something, where you actually do airline routes and you have to be there. I'm like, man, I get paid to do this. I don't want to sit here at my computer this long.
Right. I was wondering, like, do you scratch your head and you're like, what the fuck are these people doing? Like, I'm out here getting paid to do this, and this guy is sitting at a desk in his house for 8 hours talking to another dude about air traffic control flying a fake plane around. What the hell is that?
I ain't gonna knock it because it's video gaming. I mean, God's sakes, I could play World of Warcraft for 14 hours in a sitting.
Yep.
But it's what you enjoy. But the fact that I actually do it for my career, I'm like, I can't just sit here for that long and do it at home too.
Oh no, believe me, I understand. My dad owned a window washing company when I was younger, and we had the dirtiest fucking windows in our place. I was like, why are our windows the dirtiest? And then I realized, like, yeah, no one's paying him to do it around here.
Exactly. That's why, even on my days off, the last damn thing I want to see is drive close to the airport.
Yeah.
So you just start shaking.
True. On like a serious note, has there ever been a situation where there's been like a co-pilot that you won't fly with anymore? Either like the smell or just, for whatever reason, you're just like, I don't know. Like, he's all right. He's fine. He hasn't said anything, but just, I don't know. I get a feeling.
For the most part, I can pretty much get along with everybody. I can
because you guys are all very professional in one aspect.
Yeah. It's all about getting the job done. But like I said, I just did a trip 2 or 3 trips ago where me and this guy just did not see eye to eye. Mostly because he was a piece of shit. But
of course.
Well, so I'll just tell you this. So I've already gotten the entire plane ready and it got all of the flights ready completely by myself while he sat there. And but before any of the trips started, we had another 30-hour layover somewhere. And the very first thing he says to me was, I've never even met this guy. He said, he's like, I don't know what you had planned for this 30-hour layover, but we ain't hanging out. You got to find your own shit to do.
Damn. All right. Fuck you.
Like, yeah, I was like, who the hell said I wanted to hang out with you?
Yeah,
buddy?
Yeah, man.
And, I mean, that's fine if you want to do your own thing, but to actually come in there and that's the first thing you say to somebody, and you can just imagine how the rest of the trip went. So yeah, that guy got put on my no-fly list. That's the first time I've ever put someone on my no-fly list. I won't fly with him again.
Gotcha.
Because we didn't see the eye to eye on anything. We still got the job done. Everything was safe, but it was a miserable trip for me.
Oh, and man. No fun.
It made it so long.
You can't be yourself, right? You gotta all of a sudden everything gets shut off and you're just doing your job all of a sudden. And then it's definitely the fun aspect of it might just disappear. That sucks. And interesting to know you have a no-fly list.
Oh yeah, yeah. So captains can't have a no-fly list where I'm at, but first officers can. And the idea of that's kind of like the captains should be the one
I was gonna say, I don't.
controlling the cockpit. You should be able to make things work, but it's not a perfect world. People aren't going to get along. And this entire trip, I pretty much had Bill Burr in the back of my head. It's like just telling this guy, "Hey, go fuck yourself." Just sitting there the entire time like this.
I wonder how many people have put you on their no-fly list. They're like, this guy.
Oh, probably hundreds.
Hundreds. This Dan guy. I don't know, man. I know one guy probably got you on his. I don't know. I was flying a plane. He started punching me. I don't know. Started punching me.
Yeah, no, that was just at that little flight school. He was just a regular guy, but no, this ain't bragging at all. But I've had so many guys come up to me and flight attendants that I worked with at my previous airline telling me how much they miss me just because of how I controlled the plane, how I was with passengers and things. But now I'm like, I'm making more money now, and I don't have as much responsibility since I'm not the captain anymore. No, I'm good here.
Yeah, right. Isn't that funny how that works out? It's actually good. Yeah, it's really good. I've experienced that kind of stuff myself. I got fired from my last job because it was so good. So yeah, just kind of like that.
Well, you'll have guys that stay in the right seat of aircraft because they don't want the responsibility. They're like, I'm getting paid enough. I live within my means. I don't need the money. So why add the extra stress on there when I don't need it?
Yeah, but I think being captain's fun.
I do miss taxiing the plane. So that's seriously the biggest thing that I miss is just taxiing.
Really?
Yeah. I know it sounds weird, but I can't stand not being the one in control and how some people are with the brakes. They like slam them on. They can't do it smoothly. It drives me insane. You get jerked around if they're not smooth with a steering tiller up there. I'm like, oh, John, just let me do it.
Right. Nice. Oh, okay. I never thought about that. That'd be the most enjoyable part for you, which, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the most enjoyable part, but it's just what I miss the most is just being in control. It's the whole Type A personality, man. You want to be the one in control.
Of course. Well, I mean, Aviator Dan, you sound like you got things under control all the time. I mean, and
that's just a disguise, man. I'm probably scared shitless up there half the time.
Well, and you should brag. You should brag. It's good to know that people miss working with you and people like having you around. That says a lot about a person's character. It's not often you hear that. I can tell you, I've worked at places and there's a lot of people that would leave and we wouldn't even notice they're gone. Be like, a month later, be like, holy shit, what happened to that guy? I don't know. Maybe he quit or got fired. Who gives a shit? Move on. Like, they're not memorable. They're not noticeable. They either didn't do anything memorable. They would just come in, do their thing and leave, or they would cause problems.
Yeah. See, I mean, you have to spend a good time of your life with these people. So why are you going to make a third of your life miserable?
Right. No, exactly.
So
it's almost like a family, right? And you don't get to pick your family either. You get to somewhat pick your job, but you don't always get to pick the people you work with. But you should make every attempt to get along with everyone, even through flaws, because family members have flaws, and we definitely look past them all the time. And we all have flaws. It's just the thing, You gotta get along with the people you work with, right? You don't shit where you eat. That's like a super duper important thing. You never shit where you eat.
Hey, amen to that. Same thing. Same reason why you don't piss off the people that handle your food.
Oh yeah.
I treat that the same way I do with people of ATC. I'm like, I don't piss off the people that can control my if I'm delayed or not.
Have you ever had a real what the fuck moment with ATC? Like really, like what the hell did I just hear?
Oh yeah, it happens. So there's times where you have to ask for clarification of stuff. There's been a couple times where I've asked. So if you ever hear ATC say, "Hey, might have been a violation," write down this phone number. Call us when you get on the ground.
Right.
But there's times where I've asked for a phone number because I want to talk to ATC and I kind of get on the same page about what's going on. I still try to be nice as I can be to them, but I think I told that story
about where
there's just a little misunderstanding of the clearance. And wanted to make sure they're on the same page, and it changed their policy on it. So there, I mean, it can make.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, excuse me.
Oh, you're good.
Um, it can.
Was that a sneeze?
No, I was over here coughing.
Okay. I was like, I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, it just hit me. I'm over here trying to drink water too, and yeah.
Gotcha.
But no, I mean, we're all at the end of the day, ATC, rampers, pilots, flight attendants, it's all the same goal, trying to get to where you're going safely, and everyone has the same motivation to want to do that. So even the ATC guys, they don't see us or anything, but they want us to be safe. And when things happen, like let's say there's a crash or something happens, a plane goes down,
Right.
whoever was controlling that plane is immediately taken out. Whereas, and it's because they've been hit so hard because you're talking to this person. May not realize it, but you've kind of got a relationship with them.
Right.
And the idea that you just lost them, that's a lot of stress that can go on someone. So
oh my God, happens, yeah.
They immediately take that guy out of the room and someone takes his place. And it is what it is.
Right. Well, one thing, the show must go on, and two, we need to figure out what happened.
Oh, yeah. Just because there's a crash doesn't mean all the other planes are done.
Right. They still have to safely get down according to the same regulations and standards that they would have 10 minutes earlier,
Yeah.
That doesn't change.
Everyone handles emergency situations different. And it's just all about you personally, how you can handle that. Like, this wasn't an emergency, but when I found out that my father passed away, I was day one of a trip, and it's somewhere in Alabama that I just flown to, and I got the phone call about it, and it tore me up. I might have punched the control yoke a time or two, hurt my hand a little bit.
Yikes.
But got off the plane, got away from the pet. Well, first thing that happened was the gate agent was this big old gal, and she made me look tiny. But she knew something was up, so she asked what happened. Told her this woman grabbed hold of me and would not let go.
Oh,
I love that lady.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So I go in there. I call the scheduling. I'm like, hey, this is what's happened. Give me 15 minutes and I'll be good. And they're like, all right, well, we're going to want you to talk to the chief pilot first because they don't know how I'm going to handle it,
Right. Yeah, this could be a sensitive time right now.
Yeah. So the chief pilot, he calls me, and it's like, all right, you're off the trip. We're going to get you back home as quick as we can. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I'm still taking this plane back to Charlotte.
Right.
Like, well, we don't recommend that. I'm like, buddy, I know you're doing what you're supposed to, but it's my name on the release. And if I didn't feel safe, I would pull myself off. And my first officer that I had, I trusted this guy entirely. I told him, like, hey, if you feel unsafe at any point, you just say my aircraft, and I'm out, man. And I'll start doing radios. But I have an ability where I can set things aside and still do my job. So I got the plane back to Charlotte, no issues whatsoever. And the passengers are probably cool with it because it was probably the fastest flight ever from Alabama to Charlotte. But
the paint came off the plane and shit. There's no more paint. It's all stripped. What happened here? Supersonic flight in this 737. Check it out.
Hey, it's all about that on-time performance, man.
Really?
But,
I had a few hours to catch up on here.
Dang right. But everyone handles those situations differently. I got on that because like the whole ATC thing, and like I said, everyone's end goal is to get back down on the ground safely. So that's what we focus on. As long as you can do that safely, and you're not going to hurt anything or anyone, good to go.
Right. You know what I think about? Because I got questions here like, what's the funniest or the scariest or just the most interesting story that you've gotten? And what I've thought about probably about 50 times since we talked last was the accidental alcohol spiking situation. And that I just think, like, of all the weird things that could happen on a plane, someone just giving the pilot alcohol when they're gonna take off, it's got to be like number one in the book of oh shit.
Yeah, that was a pretty loud one. Thank God that didn't happen to me. But
oh wait,
yeah.
was that someone else?
Yeah, that was two of my buddies that it happened
Oh,
to.
oh,
Where
okay. All right.
yeah, the flight attendant put was it Bailey's in their coffee, thinking it
Bailey's,
was just like
yeah.
coffee
Oh my
sweetener.
God. Can you imagine that
Yeah,
happened
but
to you then? Shit. You're like, man, this tastes good. What the? Uh-oh.
so I'm kind of starting to feel something up here. What's going on?
Yeah, all of a sudden the plane, it's not a plane anymore. We're flying my magic carpet around. Like, you know,
Yeah, it makes you. Hey, as long as you're having a good time, who cares? No, I
yeah,
can't say
no, no, no. Yeah.
that.
No, but yeah,
no,
we get it. We get it. You know, all joking though, that it is kind of funny and I mean it ended fine. I mean, they obviously didn't fly the plane, right? They immediately
oh yeah,
followed, you know.
they probably took like a sip of it or something, realized it's like, hey, something's in this, and then they called her, say, hey, what's in this? And no, yeah, just some sweetener. And I was like, we don't have that chocolate sweetener on the plane, so
Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, things happen all the time, and like I said, I forget half of them, but there are those ones that stand out. It's usually mostly passengers that I get into altercations with that really just
Wow.
are usually at the front of my brain. But yeah,
Anything anything crazy like that since the last time we talked? I know like it's in the news like every day that like something
um,
crazy is going on a plane where something's out of control, but usually it happens at a gate, I think.
yeah, 9 times out of 10, it's at the gate, and or as you're taxiing out, whether it's people not wanting to wear the mask,
Like, how do they get
or
that far and then be like, I don't want to wear the mask? You made it through the whole
yeah,
airport.
I mean, like I said, won't get into the personal beliefs on it, but guess what? I don't own the airline. The government has their rules, and
Yeah.
I like to continue getting paid, so I'm going to do what I'm told.
Right.
And it's the same thing if I go into someone's business and they want me to wear one. Yeah, I'm going to put it on, no problem,
Right.
because I respect other people's their
Yeah.
wishes, you know. But no, I really haven't had too many things like altercations lately. I mean, the wife, I was having to tell her last night coming to Guatemala, there was a kid in the back of the plane that was puking,
Ooh.
and they were kind of like, huh, wonder what's going on there. And uh, just thinking, we were just thinking maybe it's flu or something. So we don't want people sick flying.
Right.
And
Oh. Oh no.
we had the crew resource cabin resource officer come out, and they've talked to the passengers. They ended up saying it was like the kid got food poisoning or something from eating too much candy or something. Not sure if I fully
Sure. Yeah.
believe
Kid ate
that,
too much
but
candy. Too many
yeah,
donuts.
I mean,
Peanuts.
yeah, growing up, how many times did you puke after eating Halloween candy? You know, yeah,
Right.
never really happened to me.
Oof.
But
Huh.
I'm like, yeah, air's getting circulated through our filters. We're good to go. If they're fine with it, I'm good with it. But no, I used to get into altercations with passengers a lot more because they were usually a lot grumpier when they're flying on the regional jets because they're smaller, cramped, and everything.
Right.
And also had no problems saying what I thought to passengers if they wanted to argue a little bit. Like there's
Well.
one guy, it pretty much got to where I was trying to say things to piss him off enough where he would take a swing at me.
Oh well. I think we've all been there. I mean, that's like because then that gives you the
yeah,
opportunity
it's
to
like once that
respond.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. No, oh, please, I get that. Yeah, that's a
Yeah, we
very
all have our breaking point.
yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, I
Oh,
used to reach the breaking point a lot more often. Now I'm pretty much fully relaxed where I don't let things bug me at all. I'm like, no, I enjoy this job. I like the paychecks coming in, so I'm just gonna sit here and smile.
absolutely. That's good. It's good that you think that way. 'Cause a lot of people get angry at their job and then just do something silly. And they start
Oh
taking it
yeah,
out
yeah.
on the employer or whatever and then taking it out on customers and then it turns into a mess and
Hey, there are
shit.
those guys out there that they try to stick it to the company, and
Yeah. You're not sticking it to anyone.
it's
You're
a
just hurting your
miserable trip.
coworkers.
Yeah,
You
pretty
know,
much.
they're just gonna fire you and forget about you and move on. It's everyone that you're interacting with that's gonna remember you, not the company.
Yeah, like there's this one guy, he was trying to delay the flight to stick it to the company, and I'm trying to catch a flight to where I can go home, and we had the come to Jesus talk. Where it's like,
Mm,
hey, buddy, you're keeping me from getting home, so
right.
it's like let's focus on the picture here.
Exactly.
But no, I did see someone else when we were talking about the de-icing thing. They were asking
Yeah.
about the flaps up. They don't put the flaps down until just before the runway. Um, I tried to look at the chat here and there,
Oh,
but
yeah, I
I
saw
can't
that.
read and talk. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's yeah, that East Tennessee education, man. But
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
yeah, so after you get de-iced, we don't. If you're in a lot of where there's a lot of snow and ice and stuff on the ground, we don't put the flaps down until we're short of the runway because the wheels and everything throw up a lot of that snow and everything. So if the flaps are at a farther down angle where it's closer to the wheels, we don't want more snow and ice getting thrown up after we just got finished de-icing.
oh,
So
yeah. Didn't think about that.
yeah, so we'll try to taxi slow also because, it's icy. So don't really want to lose control. But yeah, we don't want to throw anything up after we just spent all this time getting everything off.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. All right. That I saw that go by and I was like, I don't know if that was worded right. It didn't make sense to me. Now it makes sense.
Hey, I'm here to help, man.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. I'm sitting here in my sim looking at someone flying a 747 over me at like 30 knots. Pretty sure they're just kind of floating.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's totally doable, right? It flaps at
Oh,
8,000.
hey, he's got that big headwind going, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
That would
that guy
how?
seriously is just sitting there.
Yeah, I don't think we have wind that fast on this planet, though, do we?
Down low, not often, but I mean, if you think about it, so I know we've all seen the whole thing where you see a giant plane coming into land and it seriously looks like he's just sitting there.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
So
floating.
there is a reason for that, and the best way I had it described to me, um, it's kind of hard to do just over this, but imagine you have all right, let's say you have like a 1 foot piece of pipe, and
Hmm.
then you have a number two pencil sitting right next to it. So 6 inches versus 1 foot.
Okay.
So that little 6 inches has to move twice as much distance to cover that same amount of distance. The 1 foot pipe has to move one time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So the bigger the object is, the slower. I mean, it doesn't have to cover as much ground to look like it's going as far.
Right.
So the little object has to move quite a bit more to look like it's covering the same distance. So it's kind of an illusion with your eyesight, but yeah, no, you can get those crazy winds, especially this time of year. We got the jet stream coming down.
Oh.
Um,
The,
like up at altitude right now, we're getting 140, 150 knot winds.
yikes. Yeah,
Now
that's
that usually doesn't happen down on the ground. Most I've seen on the
no.
ground is like 55, 60 knots.
Well,
And that's really out of the ordinary. But it was fun.
but it really throws you around a lot up there. If you had those kind of winds on the ground, it'd be pretty hard to land, I think.
Hey, like I said, it makes it exciting, man.
Exciting. That's like beyond a hurricane, isn't it? Like 120 knot
Details.
winds. That's pretty fast. Nuts.
Like
Oh,
I said, the crazier it is in there, the more fun we're having and the more focused we are. So
yeah,
we like it.
the more shaking you get, it sounds like the more fun is going on. Everything is rattling, and every time I land in a plane, I'm like, man, it feels like this thing is just gonna fall apart at any second.
Hey, you never know. By God, I hope it doesn't. But
No, no,
now
it's
there's some fun turbulence out there. I try to
yeah,
tell guys that are worried about it. I try to tell them, hey, just close your eyes and imagine it's a massage chair. You're good to go.
yep. I spend a lot of time looking at comments about turbulence and whatnot, and I don't think I've ever seen an actual pilot say that they were worried about turbulence in a big jet ever. Really, it's never,
No,
never a thing. The planes are built to withstand way more than that's ever going to do to it, and
yeah,
yeah,
and a lot of the times when people think they hit moderate or severe turbulence, it's really like light. Severe turbulence is so rare that the actual definition of it is that you're unable to maintain aircraft control. So the plane's just pretty much going wherever it wants to, um, and it puts so much force on it that it grounds the plane immediately. Where you have to divert, get on the ground because you think there's structural damage
mm-hmm.
that needs to be looked at. So that is so damn rare. But also, you have to think about the size of the planes. Where, like, if we hear a turbulence report from a Cessna 172 reporting moderate turbulence, well, that plane weighs like what 1,400 pounds or something like that,
Yeah,
and versus we're weighing 170,000 pounds. It's a lot harder to move us than it is to move that little Skyhawk. So
Well, yeah.
the
Oh
big
my God.
the bigger the plane, the less you're going to feel the turbulence. Just like a boat and like a little 18-foot bass tracker versus a um, cruise liner. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, I know that. But I've been on some cruises, man, and I mean there was Jack Daniels involved, but man, that thing was moving all over the place one night. Man, it was rocking all over the place. Woof.
And my
Yeah.
wife, she went on a cruise with her friend. She keeps trying to get me to go on one with her. I'm like, hell no! I saw what happened to Titanic. I ain't getting out there.
Oh, please. I'll tell you, it's not that bad. They're a lot of fun. If you like to
Yeah,
relax, then a cruise is really like everything is taken care of for you the whole time. It's amazing.
I I know, man. But what I'm saying is, like, if I get out in that ocean with my size, those sharks are gonna see me and be like, oh
Oh,
hell, man, we're gonna be eating good for a week.
well, stay out of the ocean then. Oh man. Oh, but
And,
no, I get it. Of course, I understand your fears and concerns. Just go and
no,
talk to the captain and be like, "Ah, I also am a captain." And
oh yeah, we've done that too. So we went to Savannah recently on a vacation trip. Me, my wife, and my best friend's girl. He wasn't able to go with us, so we took her with us, and we ended up doing this kind of sightseeing boat cruise. But it was on a pretty dadgum big boat, and I was talking to the captain of it, and I was kind of asking him about their epaulets, what the stripes mean, because versus what our stripes mean,
right.
things like that. And so he found out I was at the airlines. Yeah, he gave us a whole tour of the ship, man. Took us up into their whatever they call it, the bridge or whatever in a
Yeah.
boat,
Yep.
and yeah, we had a hell of a time.
Man, I should
Yeah, the boats
check
don't
out the
scare me. It's just yeah.
cruise ship
Uh,
simulator. Hmm.
oh, is there seriously a cruise ship simulator?
Probably. There's got to be. There's simulator now and shit. Like there's lawnmower simulator. I can't like I don't I can't even comment. I guess someone's gonna think it's fun, but lawnmower simulator. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I kind of wanted to look into that lawnmower one because I
Oh
like
my god.
dominating the lawn.
Uh, let's see what I can carve. I mean, sure, yeah, like carve a big penis into the lawn or something like that. Yeah, yeah. Vacation simulator, PC building simulator. Imagine just a job simulator. How about getting yelled at simulator or something like that? Do you
Hey, people
have?
are into it.
Yeah, people are into that. There's a lot of skits of people like just getting yelled at.
Now, talking about things like being mowed into the grass and things, that is one thing you do see sometimes flying around is things people have put into their lawns or fields or something.
Yeah,
Yes, some people like to have fun. Um, there is also I can't think of what the fix is called right now, but it's somewhere in Texas, and the fix is named after this guy's woods, and he cut the trees down to spell out the name of his farm,
oh,
and you can see it from 40,000 feet so easily.
that is awesome. You probably see it from
Yeah.
space.
Oh yeah. So they named an actual fix for it. So I can't think of what it is right now
Really?
though.
Oh, that's cool. That makes sense too because I mean that's actually a really good idea because you can't go wrong when you see that from the sky. You know where
Oh
you
yeah.
are. Now you know where
And
you
it's
are.
and if someone has a problem with it, it ain't your land. Can't say nothing.
Yeah, well.
So maybe you should do that over your house. Just draw a giant penis in there, and
Yeah.
I'll know where to find you.
Be like, "Oh my god, this is this PNS over here. I know where I am." I wonder what kind of trouble I could get in if I actually spelled penis out. Probably none cuz who's going to complain? A bunch of
Just
pilots,
tell them
really.
it's French. It means something else. Quit having a dirty mind.
Yeah, it's my last name in French, Pinet. Excuse me, sir. Pinet, Pinet. You've got a lot of funny stories. You think there's like the funniest or one that maybe you haven't told us or you think that stands out a little?
Oh God, man.
Right, because I
Um,
know like you're a funny guy. You got to have something. I don't know. I don't know.
they they all just kind of blend together on me.
Yeah.
I like trying to embarrass people. Um, so I'll get every time I get my wife on the flight or something, I'll always make announcements of trying to embarrass the hell out of her, and it's so easy. But I had her
Oh
and
no.
my mother on there once, and yeah, you can't embarrass my mama. She everything I was saying, she was owning up to it. It's like, yep, I raised that bastard up there. He's mine.
Oh my god. Oh. Oh
But
man. I would have
nah,
ran through the cabin with my shirt off.
yeah, that
Yep, that's my mom.
yeah, I try to tell the wife, I'm like, hey, if I'm missing anything, try to remind me because I think she's out Christmas shopping right now. But she was listening to the last one, and I'm like, I've had so much stuff happen, it just all kinds of blends together.
Right.
But like I said, I try to have a good time on my job because I enjoy it. And if I'm having fun, I'm going to be paying attention more. Everything's going to be safer versus if I'm bored up there not doing a damn thing.
Right.
It's like I said, life is short, man. Enjoy what you do.
Right. Even shorter if you're a dog or a cat. Imagine that, right? Oh, I don't know why I just
Okay.
thought of that right now. I just went right to that, but I don't know. I
Hey, you
have
got some good stuff going through your system, maybe.
well, I don't know. I got 3 dogs, and I always think like I never give them enough attention and time, even though they get plenty.
Oh,
You
we're
know.
huge dog people too.
Yeah.
My wife, she says all the time, she's just like, we don't deserve dogs.
No, we don't. Oh my God, we don't. They're great. Like from the cuddle aspect to when you're not feeling good, and they know, and there's people who like you can't communicate with a dog, and it's like you've never had a dog, do you? You don't know. Like you definitely communicate with dogs. I talk to mine. They don't talk back to me. I don't know if they understand me, but when my girlfriend Amber talks to them, she has full on conversations, and I think she's a little crazy, but I mean, I understand their emotion and what they're trying to like let me know, like I got to go out, or I'm hungry, or I want to get under the blanket. Like they communicate.
Hey, I'm just saying, if you want them to talk back, maybe start hitting your stash a little harder.
I've done some drugs in the presence of the dogs, and I don't haven't seen any of them talking to me yet, man. I wish they would talk to me. I wish I can have like a little Doctor Doolittle syndrome or something like that.
Yeah, that's all I say. I'm like, hell, for all I know, my dog's calling me an asshole.
Ugh. They could be. They're like, come on, man, I gotta walk. We gotta only walk when you say we have to walk. I gotta poop now. I gotta wait 6 more hours. Come on, man. Yeah, I
Oh
think
yeah,
that's what they're saying to me all the time. Or I want your food.
yeah. They're just like people. I mean, hell, the wife tells me when I leave for trip, she's like, yeah, the dog's all depressed again that you're gone. So,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
That
I
happens. They
try to
know
say, it's like, no, he's happier. He gets to take my spot on the bed.
that too, right? Every time I get off the couch, one of my dogs gets right in the spot, like immediately. Immediately, I'm like, geez, man. Now I can't sit down again.
Hey, they know who runs the house.
Ugh. Yeah, well, it's 50-50, I think. I just don't poop on the floor here.
You don't?
No, I don't. No, I try not to at least.
I mean, hey, when you got to go, man, you got to go.
You
I
do
just
got to
tell the wife
go.
clean up after me.
It's only we only have one bathroom here, and there's 2 of us and 3 dogs and a cat. So the line gets pretty long for the bathroom sometimes.
Oh, gee. No, we kind of had my wife before we got married. She was in this rental house once, and we had been out at the bar doing some throwing them back,
Yeah.
and she was pretty inebriated, and so she's like, I'm just gonna go like kind of pass out by the toilet, and let's just say my stomach hit me, and whew, I kept trying to tell him, hey baby, you sure you don't want to go get in bed? You want to go get in bed right now? Want me to put you in bed? I was
God.
about to go outside and shit by the tree.
Oh my God. I could.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've gone camping before, so I've definitely pooped outside. But man, there was this one time, and I don't know. This has nothing to do with airplanes, but there was one time where I had a crown in my mouth. The dentist just put in, and I guess it didn't hold very well. And the only I realized it was gone after I'd swallowed it. I was eating something, and boop, it just popped off. Right. And the
Oh
dentist is
Jesus.
like, yeah, I mean, the lab will have to make a new one. That's another $1,000, or you could retrieve it. And I was like, oh shit. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what.
Do you really want that back in your mouth even
Uh,
afterwards?
well, I mean, I knew I was gonna clean it, and then the dentist cleaned it. But yeah, man, luckily, and I'll just say that it was just, yeah, I put a plastic bag on the floor, took care of things, and when I turned around and looked, it was just sitting right on top. It was just sitting right on, I didn't have to go through anything. It was right there. I was like, well, shit.
I
Terrible.
mean, if anyone tells you you got, if
Sh-
you curse like got a shitty mouth, I'm
Yeah.
just telling you, you had no idea, buddy.
No, it's not in there anymore. Trust me. That was so long ago. It's since been replaced again already. But damn, I specifically remember when that one came out again. I was like, you know what? We're gonna replace this one this time. I think this one is cursed. I don't want to swallow it again. And no, 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 no. Nothing should have to
Hell,
go
I don't
through my
blame you.
track 2 times. Nope.
Yeah. Oh god, that reminded me though. Sorry about doing that. God, there was this one. This wasn't me, but at the flight school I went to, the guy's stomach hit him while he was in a little Cirrus, and you just see him land, and he just shut the plane, didn't bother parking the plane or anything, shut it down right outside the our little hangar that we had,
Uh
and you just see him running inside, and shit's falling out of his pant legs.
huh. And you saying that wasn't you?
No, it wasn't me,
No, that
but I'm
wasn't you.
like, oh,
Okay, all
I
right.
felt bad for the guy.
Oh man, that's shitty. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
you ain't kidding. It was shitty.
yeah. Oh, please,
Hey,
terrible.
I tell you what, man. I'll be right back. I've had a liter of water. I got to take a quick piss.
Oh yeah, go pee. Sure. Oh my God, guys, we're gonna let's see, where should we go next? We're almost wrapped up here. You guys got more questions? Pop them in the chat, and we'll see if we get them answered really quick. Uh, but I'm trying to go through all the Discord stuff here, and I think I got most of this stuff here. But I got some more questions. Want to know what's happening for Christmas? Is he flying on Christmas? What's going on? Should we fly Blunt Air now? Yeah. And yeah, Corey, what do you want me to ask? What do you want me to ask, Corey? We're gonna do where did we just land? At PNS? Charlotte? Or to Atlanta? Let's see. Being that it's going to take us a while to get this set up, can you barrel roll an unloaded 747?
All righty,
Okay.
brother. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. Can you barrel roll an empty 747?
I mean, yeah.
Will it handle it? Will you think it'll handle it?
There's actually a video out there, not in a 747. I want to say it was a 707 or a 727, but I mean, we're talking in the probably 50s or 60s, where he actually rolled it, and I can't remember exactly what it was. Like I said, I think it was a 707 or maybe a one, but yeah, he rolled the damn thing. So they'll do it, and it's just all about how you handle the controls. And if you got a high enough altitude, yeah, I mean it'll roll.
Yeah,
As long as you don't exceed any G forces that
Right.
the plane's limited to, yeah, they'll do it.
So if you do it like nice and slow, you think it's cool?
Oh yeah. So it's all about. So as soon as you start rolling the plane over, the wings are designed to create lift. So as soon as you roll it over, now the wings it's kind of doing lift, but it's in the opposite direction with how the airfoil is designed. So you're going to have to push forward on the stick quite a bit to try to decrease the amount of altitude loss.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And the type of planes we fly versus fighter jets, their wings, they don't have wings; they just have powerful engines.
Well, yeah, I guess the wings just kind of steer.
Well, yeah, they're so fighter. If you look at like our wings versus the fighter jet's wing, the fighter jet's wing is pretty much just like straight out there. There's not much of an airfoil to it, and it's just they don't want all the drag out there. They're like our engines can power us to do whatever, so we don't need all the extra lift factors and things like that.
Right.
So it's not exactly the same, but yeah. So yeah, they can roll the airlines no problem. It's just about one, are you going to find someone willing to do it?
Yeah.
And two, will the airline allow it?
No, they're not going to allow it ever unless it's like a commercial or some kind of planned, very finely choreographed stunt, I'm guessing. And it's not going to be an airline doing it. It's going to be the freaking manufacturer of the plane doing it.
Oh yeah, that's when the real stuff happens. Is when they throw the test pilots out there.
Yeah.
Like so, part of the union I was in was called the Critical Incident Response Program, and they partnered us in with all other airlines and aircraft companies. And there was a guy that worked for Boeing in there, and he was a test pilot for him. So we were talking with him, and he's telling us what they do on the plane, and he's like, "Yeah, man." And then there's times where they just give us free reign and they let us try whatever we want to do. So he's telling me about how he's looped like a 737 and everything.
Right.
And I mean, hey, if you got the power, go for it.
Damn. 737 probably can do something pretty crazy.
Hey, those engines, they got a lot of thrust behind them.
They
and
do.
If you got no weight inside that aircraft at all, it'll do whatever you want it to.
What's the longest time you've spent in the air then?
As the pilot or like just at all?
Pilot, in control. Yeah, having to pay attention.
probably Hartford, Connecticut to LAX. It was like a 6.5, 7 hour flight or something like that.
Okay, not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, that's about as much as I wanted to do for the day.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely the pilots have to go a lot longer than that too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
International.
Once you, yeah, but they have relief pilots, and once you hit so many hours, you have to have an extra pilot, and then if you have even further, you have to have two relief pilots. So even though you have those long overseas flights,
Right.
they're still up there getting rest. Like we have crew rest quarters on the wide body planes. Like the 787, they have their own sleep room.
Yeah.
That's actually very nice. I mean, for a plane. And I tried to go up there and sleep in it one time when I was commuting home, but they got line checked in the check area. I was like, no, sit up here with us. You might learn something. And I'm like, man, I've been up for 20 hours. I'm not going to learn a damn thing. Let me go sleep.
Uh-huh.
But he's like, no, sit up here. I'm like, God dang it. All right.
The you were saying before about like that guy that's on your no fly list, right? With that was just getting all snooty at the layover and whatnot. There are a lot of real needy pilots out there that just think like, oh, we got a 30-hour layover. What are you up to?
There's people that you like to go out and hang out with. Then they have ones that just go in their rooms and lock themselves in. They call them slam clickers. Depending on who I'm working with, yeah, sometimes I'm one of those guys where I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to go hang out with you.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're 60 years old, making $400,000 a year. We're just on completely different pages, so we don't have much in common.
Wow. And you, when you got like a big layover like that, though, are you getting paid?
We get paid per diem. We also get paid.
Okay.
So even though I'm not flying today, I got paid 5 hours and 15 minutes of flight time because our time's valuable, and I don't want to just be sitting here for 30 hours not making anything. I'd rather be home.
Right.
So the union, they came up on their contract. They came to agreement. It's like, all right, even if our guys don't even fly, they're on a layover, but they're on the duty time, they're going to get paid 5 hours and 15 minutes of flight time a day. But then you get per diem as well.
Right.
That's for food and everything. And we get like $2 an hour. And that goes from the time you push off the gate at your base airport and it stops as soon as you clock back or get back to the jet bridge back at your base. So you're getting that 24 hours a day.
Damn. Oh man. So yeah, well, that's probably because that probably happens a lot. Man, when I worked at Apple and they would fly us around, I got paid from the moment I left my house to the moment I got to my destination. And if I was staying away from home, each day away from home, the per diem was $100. They said 25 for breakfast, 25 for lunch, and 50 for dinner. Isn't that insane?
Good God, hell yeah.
Yeah, man. When I went, they put me up in Cupertino once for like 3 weeks. I gained like 20 pounds. I was going to like Cheesecake Factory every night, man. They're like, would you want a slice of cheesecake? I'm like, yeah, I came here for the cheesecake. And then anytime someone was like, would you like to add a lobster tail with that? Or a side of filet mignon? Absolutely, absolutely, I want that. And they had like a huge problem like 4 years ago where there was a model of computer that had a huge quality program on it where if you had a problem with the keyboard, even if it was like out of warranty by like 3 years, we still took care of the repair and replaced the whole body of the computer because that's the keyboard was built into it. So they shipped me and like 20 other guys to a place in Memphis where the FedEx hub was, so that all the packages would just come in and literally be brought to us. We had like a backlog of 6,000 computers. I was there for 2.5 months, and that was our per diem every day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to spend that on alcohol?
No, but as long as you're in, now listen, when you're in town a lot and you're eating at the same place a lot, let me order the that expensive lobster dish, but really give me this dish and 2 drinks. And they're like, sure, of course, it's the same money for them, right? They don't care. Like, you charge me for the expensive food, give me this cheaper dish, and give me some drinks. That worked. Also, we were allowed to like lose a few receipts here and there, or have cash allowance. So Apple paid for some pot a few times for me.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. they're a progressive company. It's like, hey, I need this to help me relax to do my job better.
Yep. Yeah, well, exactly. And actually, when I was worked there, it was our policy not to ask about drugs during the interviews or anything like that. Only I think there's no part of the company that's in any position that operates any kind of machinery really.
Yeah, see, how we get drug test. Well, I haven't been random drug tested at the company I'm at now, but my regional airline, I was there for 7 years, and I didn't get hit my last year and a half. But in the 5.5 years that I'm talking about, I got random drug tested 16 times. And I still swear it's because of a joke I made my very first time. This old woman doing the test,
Uh huh.
and she's telling me everything it's going to be testing for, and it's like marijuana, crack, all this stuff. And she's like, "All right, you got any last minute questions before you do your urine sample?" And I was like, "Yeah. How long does crack stay in your system?"
Oh my
And
god.
she did not laugh in the slightest bit.
Oh, sure.
And I got 15 more random drug tests after that
Of
point.
course, they're like, yeah, yeah. They probably get to check a box like probable. We should check again in the near future, like tomorrow. And if we could have checked
Yeah.
yesterday, let's find some urine in the sewer from this guy, please.
Yeah, that lady had no sense of humor. But oh man, they got to where it was pissing me off. I was getting hit so much where I started learning the rules on what they could do and if they could force you to drink. So if you ever get random tested, they cannot force you to drink liquid. Like if you don't have to go to the bathroom, they'll
Right?
try to get you to drink,
Yeah, they
but
could.
it
I
could
don't
give
think
you
they
a
could do
false
that
positive.
anywhere. Force someone to
Yeah.
drink. The fuck is that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they'll try to get you to do it, and it's just so that you get out of their hair and they can go on with their day.
Right.
Well, it I was doing this so often where I ended up delaying a couple of flights because it was pissing me off so bad that I'm getting targeted this much. I
Right.
mean, we had 1,600 pilots, and I'm getting hit this much. Um, it was pissing me off. So one flight ended up getting delayed by 3 hours, and yeah,
Damn.
I never got hit again.
Yeah, it's like, man, I don't have to pee. It's like, all right, we don't find anything in this guy's shit. That old lady was nuts. Let's just move past it.
Yeah, so it's like lighten up, lady. Have a sense of humor.
Oh man. All right, let's see. Wow, there's still so many questions here. Like I got a question from chat and then I got one from me.
All right.
Are you flying on Christmas?
Yes. So I started a 5 day trip yesterday. Like I said, I'm in Guadalajara, Mexico right now. I don't do anything today because we got done. Oh God, we got done late last night. I think I got to the hotel around 2 a.m.
Oh,
And so they put us on a 30-hour layover, or however long it is, and then we fly the first flight out. So my van time tomorrow morning is like 3 in the morning, 3:40 in the morning.
mm-hmm.
So they try to get you rested up before that. So tomorrow we go to Phoenix and then to Minneapolis. I stay in Minneapolis for Christmas Eve, and the hotel they put us in is at the connected to the Mall of America. So I'm going to hit up some A&W in there,
Oh,
and
oh, do you
I,
get cheese curds from A&W?
oh, I get the root beer and that Papa burger and a fry, man.
Oh, nice.
Are
Oh,
the cheese
yeah.
curds good?
Yeah, the cheese curds are good. I mean, it's like tiny little mozzarella stick balls, but they're not so battered. They're real. I like them. I don't know. I love the A&W cheese curds, but root beer float, absolutely. I mean, if you don't get that when you go to A&W, don't go fucking A&W.
That's what it's about, man. That's why I go there.
Yep.
I stay in Minneapolis for the night. Then the next day, I think we go to Charlotte and I deadhead to Memphis. And the wife's going to try
Mm.
to come with me on that one because it's
Yeah.
Christmas Day, so we're going to try to be together.
Are you gonna be in
And
Memphis
what
during
can I say?
Christmas?
Yeah.
Hell, you gonna have
So,
barbecue?
uh, I mean, me and the captain, we were talking about that, trying to figure out what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because my previous company, they gave the hotel like $60 a person to do a holiday meal for us.
Oh, oh.
Where I'm at here, they don't do that, so we kind of just got to figure something out. But barbecue places, it's usually local family type places, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine they're closed for Christmas, but
Yeah,
I
you're
really don't know
right.
what we're gonna do.
You're right.
But
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, then the next day I do 3 legs, get back to DC, and then I'll commute home. So yeah, I'll be flying over Christmas, but I got New Year's Eve off, so that's what I wanted in my schedule. So you
Nice.
take what you can get.
Okay. All right. Is there been like a specific landing that you were just like, damn, I didn't even feel that. Damn, I'm good.
Yeah, every single flight I do.
That's right. See, my friend Corey, he wants to know. He's like, "What's the best landing you ever did and where?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. That's a tough question to ask someone. But do you know where you can
Oh,
pull
where?
off the best
Oh man.
landing? Where you're most comfortable at? Like you can do it with your eyes closed?"
So my previous airline, they were based at Knoxville, Tennessee, and that's where I'm from. So I used to screw. I had this old passenger. I had to screw with him. It was a real foggy night or morning. I don't remember. And he was like, "Could you even see the runway?" I was like, "No, sir, sure couldn't." But I've been here a few times. I had a pretty good idea where it was. And he just looked at me like, "What in the hell did I just get off?" But no, I mean, an airport's an airport. You do have the fun approaches that are fun to fly, like DC, Portland, Maine,
Right.
have fun visual approaches. But no, I mean, we call them greasers, where you can barely feel it rolling on,
Mm-hmm.
and we're cocky bastards, man. We try to pull off the best landings we can. But
Well,
the bigger
yeah.
the plane, the harder they are to stop. So you need more runway. We're required to get it down in the touchdown zone, and the touchdown zone is the first third of the runway.
Uh-huh.
Now long runway, that's a pretty big area, but when you have like DC 7,000 feet, Orange County something like 57, I think, maybe 6,000 now. Yeah,
Whoa.
that third of the runway, you better be putting it down right on the numbers.
Wow. Yeah, that's
But
not a lot of room.
yeah, but no, we grease them on pretty often, and like I said, if it's a long runway, we're prideful bastards. We like doing the best job that we can. I don't care what the passengers say, great landing or anything like that, because chances are I'll be like, ah, God, that landing sucked, and I have
Like,
people getting off the plane like, hey, great landing, and I'm like, are you being an asshole or do you really think that was good?
yeah. All right.
But no, I mean, like I said, the airport's an airport. They all pretty much operate with the same rules. Um, so I couldn't tell you where I've had my best landings, but no, we roll them on pretty good a lot of the times.
Gotcha. So someone asked, have you ever lost more than one engine at a time? And I think you already answered that before. Like in the airline jets, no problems, no emergencies really to speak of. But you said that did you and in the simulator, obviously fire, losing an engine, heart attacks, kids diarrhea in the back. Have you in the smaller planes, you've had engine problems, right? You were testing an engine out for some guy and had a problem. Is there?
Yeah, I had that single engine plane fail,
Ugh,
but it was a non-event. Got it down on the ground because, like I said, I stayed in the traffic pattern. But no, they in the simulator they failed both engines on us just to see how we handle it and if make it back to the airport. But like the 737, the glide ratio on that plane is so amazing that even if you lose both engines, and all
mhm.
right, 99% of the time you're not going to lose one. You're not even going to lose an engine, but two, you're definitely not going to lose both because there's so many redundancy factors that go into the plane designs that the engines have nothing to do with each other.
Right.
They're on completely different electrical systems, things like that. So if something happens to one engine, 99% it's not going to affect the other one.
It's actually very comforting
It
to
just
know.
doesn't happen. Like I said, there's so many redundant uh, factors that go into these planes designs because they don't want anything to happen. But now that's the only really engine failure that I've had. I mean, when I was training for commercial, my commercial multi-engine,
Yep.
yeah, they in the little Piper Seminole, yeah, you shut the engine down all the time just so you could get used to what it's like flying on one engine. And that first time you see that engine out there not spinning at all, yeah, you're kind of like, what in the hell is going on?
No
But
power.
yeah, but yeah, they planes fly on one engine, no problem at all.
Yeah. Uh, someone asked this before, and I just kept passing it in my head. Um, have you actually, after taking off in one of the airliners, had to do like an immediate go around and land?
I'm sorry, man. Could you say that one again?
Have you had to do a go around and land right away in one of the airline planes before? And was it like real? Not a. Was it serious? Like not a plane emergency, but like was there was something that happened that you took off and you're like, shit, we got to go back now.
The only time I've had to divert the plane is that flat failure I had. But now we go arounds. I don't want to say they happen often, but they don't. You don't want to hear like you don't want to be in the plane and you do a go around and you don't want to think that's a bad thing. 9 times out of 10, it's something like ATC. There's a plane on the runway and they just didn't get off the ground in time because they're pushing a lot of metal. They're trying to get everything in there as quick as they can
Mm-hmm.
and be as efficient as possible. And sometimes it doesn't always work out exactly. But now I've had to do a go arounds all the time, but it's really non events. Um, like
Good.
we were going into DC and we were around 400 feet. Excuse me. Winds were kicking like crazy, and we got the red wind shear warning on our PFDs, and so it's an immediate go around in
Right.
the real world. Like I told you in that simulator session, I had an emergency uh, captain authority. We put it on the ground, but real world scenario, not that we don't have an emergency or anything. All right, we're just going to go around, come back around, try it again.
Got it.
Yeah, so anytime a go around happens, it's no big deal. You cannot be afraid to go around. No one's going to think down on you. It's actually quite the opposite. The company has a no fault go around policy, and that's in the
Okay.
simulator. That's in
Okay.
real world too, where if you did something wrong, like you weren't fully configured by when you're supposed to be,
Right.
or you went too fast, oversped the flaps,
Right.
or something like that. If you go around, you're not held liable because you noticed what the problem was. You're like, all right, this is not a safe configuration. We're going to go back around, get everything straightened out, come back around, do it again.
Right. I mean, at that
So
point, I don't think it's like it should be the go around should be looked at. It's like it wasn't safe to land, so we had to like that's
exactly,
this whatever the situation was that led up to this, where now we're not configured to land, so we are going around. Yeah, you shouldn't be held accountable because then some pilot one time out of the million might be afraid to go around and be like, shit, I'm gonna lose my job this time, and be a problem.
yeah, that's happened, man. If you watch the show that aircraft disasters, it has happened. Heck, what was it? Air Asia, the one that crashed in San Francisco.
Uh huh.
The Asian airlines still have a issue with call it CRM, crew resource management, is to where it's a respect thing. You don't want to step on the captain's toes. What he says is gold, you know.
Right.
So that instance, the first officer, he kept bringing things up, kept bringing it up, and he didn't want to tell the captain, it's like, hey, you need to go around, and it cost some people their lives.
Yep.
So here in the states,
Yeah,
like I
he
said, we
didn't
have a
want to step on
no
his
fault
toes.
go
Yeah.
around policy.
Yeah.
Um, and every pilot here, we're trained in it to where if someone tells you go around, you just go around. Figure out what the problem is. I mean, you're going to have to state what the issue is because there was a guy like that where he just liked having the power in his hands as a first officer, and he would tell guys to go around for no reason. That guy, that guy got fired pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, 1,000 feet. Go around, go around. What? Go around, please. I want to see
Exactly.
that
Yeah,
statue again. Thank you.
yeah. That.
I might
Oh
poop
hell,
myself if we land right now. Go around, go around.
God, that just reminded me of that. Flying into your neck of the woods, man, going
Yeah,
into LaGuardia up in New York. So they have a different type of approaches up there where they point out different bridges or the Statue of Liberty, things like that. And
yeah.
then you do an approach based on that. So we're flying up there. And it was my first time going in there. I was the captain. And they said, Blue Streak, you got the so and so bridge in sight? And I said, Sir, you hear how I sound? And he was like, yeah. Like, you think I have any damn clue what bridge you're talking about?
Oh
He's just like,
man. Yep.
good point. See the bridge off at your 10 o'clock? I'm like, yes, sir. He's like, that's it. Fly straight to it and make a right face. I'm like, you got it.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I get that. Yeah. I do know the bridges in New York. So when you were telling me, I'm like, where are we going with this? Nah. Now I see where we're going with this. Yes. Yes. But it
Yeah,
must
it
be
was
awesome to see all that shit either
yeah.
way. Ooh.
Oh, it's a blast. Newark is flying in and out of Newark on, I think they call it the stadium visual. I don't remember what the runway is. It might be 2-2 or something. But yeah, you're flying right next to all the buildings of New York City. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just awesome coming in to see it.
There's got to be some really awesome approaches all around the world. I mean, I can imagine like Egypt. the pyramids,
Oh yeah, I'd love to see that stuff. And
right?
yeah, there's a lot of things in this world, man. We need to go see, but
Well, that's why
it's
we
just a
have
matter of
planes.
time.
Holy crap! If we didn't have planes, we'd have to take a boat. You know how long that nonsense took? How many people didn't make it? That wasn't really a safe way to travel.
I mean,
No.
hell, just look at the Oregon Trail game, man. I wouldn't
Yeah.
make it long at all.
Right. You'd have dysentery like right away. It would be terrible. I never made it far in that game, and I've been playing it since I'm a kid, and I'm 42. The Apple II computers, I used to play that, and I never, ever, ever made it far in that game. Doesn't
Oh,
matter
the wife's
how.
like, yes. She told me it. She's like, yeah, I made it to Oregon all the time. I'm like, I didn't even know you could finish that game.
Mm. Yeah, I didn't know either. Like, I just thought it's supposed to kill you when you get like 10 minutes in because class is going to end. And it was designed around that shit. I don't know. Like, maybe I never got far in it because class would end. Who knows? It was so long ago. But I got, let me see, two more. One quick one. What airline, in your opinion, has the best accommodations for customers, like snacks, first class? What do you think is like I don't know what do I say, like the Nordstrom of airlines or something like that?
I don't know if you can ask me that because we get treated differently when we fly on other airlines.
Oh, well, have you ever gone incognito? Like, I don't want these guys to know I fly planes. I don't want to deal with this today.
No, hell no, because we get treated better.
Oh shit. All right, well then never mind.
Yeah, they hook you up when they see you're a crew member,
Oh.
man.
Oh man, it's like, hey, here's some extra soda, a couple extra
Oh
ice
yeah.
cubes, extra ice cube.
All
Here,
right.
you can have the whole can, sir. Here you go.
Me and my wife, we went to Bangkok, Thailand, and I had just finished a trip, so I was in uniform, and I didn't feel like changing, so we just kept the uniform on, and we're doing LAX to Narita, Japan, Tokyo,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm still in uniform, and the flight attendants, yeah, they gave us bottles of wine to take for the trip and everything.
Oh wow. Damn.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm not the best person to ask about that. I, and every passenger that you ask is going to have their own opinion because everyone's had bad experiences with all the airlines.
Hmm.
Uh,
I don't think I have, honestly. I don't
hey,
think I've had
that's
a
what I
bad
like to
experience.
hear.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really had a bad. You know what? Because I like to sit and watch. So if someone's having a bad time, I just sit and watch them.
So let's watch these people suffer.
Yeah, yeah, and then I can talk about it later. Yeah, okay. So I should wear my
Yeah,
costume when I fly. All right.
hell yeah, man.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
I ain't gonna lie. You could just because you don't have an airline badge. There's guys like I said that fly for NetJets and stuff. They
Right.
get positive space commuting. They can live wherever they want, and the company pays for them to get to where they need to be.
Hmm.
They don't have airline badges, but they're in uniform, and yeah, they get taken care of.
Wow.
I mean, now if they find out that you're not actually a pilot, yeah, then you're going to get some interesting looks. But
Well, interesting looks, but I mean, it's not illegal. I'm a PNS Airlines. Yeah, we're a small little company. We just fly from KLIT to to PNS and just.
hey, that's a demanded route, man. You got to take care of them people.
Oh man, no, I would never impersonate unless I earned that. There's no way I would do that unless I made it look like a real shit costume. I would like
Oh,
sew things on and be like, "This is clearly a costume. This guy's just having fun." But yeah,
no, God, no. We did have one of my flight students. He didn't end. He came in the very first day wearing a full pilot's uniform.
damn.
And I asked him, I'm like, what the hell are you wearing, man? He's like, I thought I was supposed to wear this. I'm like, no, put on
No.
jeans and a t-shirt. You're good.
Yep, yep. I don't want anyone here getting confused today.
Now, the flight school that I went to, they required us to wear a uniform, but the uniform was like um, dark, not dark navy blue pants and a blue shirt, button-up shirt, tie, and everything. We looked like pretty much security guards,
Oh,
and that's not talking down on security guards, but when you're when
right.
you're working on your pilot's license, we went to Subway one day, and some woman's with her kids, and the little kid's like, "Look, mommy, pilots," and the mom's like, "No, son, security guards." And I'm just like, "Oh, Jesus!"
Jeez, not security guards. Oh my god. Of
Nah, you just let it go though.
course you do. You're a great guy, dude. I'd love to just figure out how I could just not sneak on a plane. Like get a ticket and get on a plane and just come on and be like, hey, what's up, man? Just you'd have no clue. It'd be hilarious. But You
I
never
don't know,
know.
man. You might be getting to know me well enough where you see me up there and you're like, all right, I'm gonna be like those passengers that took the later flight. We're catching the next one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, hey, right? I wanna make sure I see this guy 8 times today because I know he's gonna take me on the next flight, and then we're gonna fly right back. I'm gonna be on all the planes. This guy is always sitting in row 12 there. I don't know what's going on here, but this guy's crazy. Got to get him out of here. The guy with the penis on his shirt. Uh, he's
Hey,
all
I'll get a kick out of it.
sitting upside down in the seat, but he's got a seatbelt on. But I don't know. His legs are up top. I don't know what's going on here.
Saying if anyone tries to say anything about your penis, man, say, hey, they just got penis in me.
Yeah,
Let the
that's
guy
it.
go.
Yeah, we're all here because of a penis. It's you know
Damn right, man.
exactly. What do you think is the best route we should fly in the flight sim?
Oh well, like I said, with the type of airports you like, you got to go to the clit.
Oh, we did already. Yo, we did
Nice.
PNS. Well, actually, we did clit to PNS this morning.
Yeah. So then, I mean, seriously, one of the best approaches you can do, man, is the river visual approach into DC runway 19.
Oh
You just
God.
fly right over the river, and you don't get lined up with the runway till like 200 feet.
Yep.
Such a fun approach.
Yep.
Um,
Definitely have done that in the sim before. That is a fun but difficult. Maybe the first time, but then after that, it was like, all right, cool. This is easy.
Hey, just make sure you're configured early because if you're
Yeah.
going fast, it makes it a little hairy.
He'll sneak up on
Um,
you, but it's good. You get to see a lot of monuments on the way in, if as long as you stay on the river.
dang right. Yeah, that's seriously one of the most fun approaches there is. Like I said, Newark. I swear they call it the stadium visual. I can pull out the iPad, but yeah, it's way over there. That's too far. I think it's called the stadium visual approach. That one's fun.
Hmm.
You can pull up all these approaches on airnav.com.
Right.
Just go to the airports, type in the airport name, and then it'll show you all the approaches that they have. Uh, and then you can shoot them on the actual game, man, because the Microsoft Flight Sim, all their frequencies and everything they use, everything's there, and it's all legit. So
Yeah. I'm gonna start paying attention more. So that's Ronald Reagan Airport, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
DCA.
Yeah.
Dulles is pretty boring getting in and out of.
Dulles is
Not much
boring.
happens there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean it's Dulles is like the 1970s futuristic airport, and it's like when they designed that, I imagine that being in the 70s, and they're like, hey, we're going to be leading the future. This is what things are going to be like. And you got the big people movers there, the monster trucks that move people from terminal to terminal.
Yeah.
And yeah, but all the runways, they're just long and straight, meaning they're all like north and south. Versus DC, you actually got to do some flying to get in there. It's a lot more fun.
Hmm. Interesting. Well, I'm glad you like your job, man. It,
Oh, I love it, man. Like I said, that's why I'm trying to get you focused on it.
I'm
Get
thinking
you into
about it.
flight school.
I'm thinking about it. If streaming doesn't work out, I think that's my next move.
Hey, there's guys. I know you can do streaming on YouTube and Twitch as well. I see some guys do that,
I see a
but
lot of pilots, actually commercial pilots, airline pilots, making a lot of TikToks lately from inside the cockpit. It's freaking awesome. Not like
yeah.
they're just like bobbing their heads around. Hey, working with your best friend every day is fun and whatnot. Because I guess a lot of people work together often.
Oh yeah, yeah. There is actually another streamer. Him and his wife, they're pilots from where I met, and we all came from the same regional airline too. And I didn't know him, but I just shooting the shit with him in his chat and found out we all came from the same place. And
Nice.
then they knew my name. I didn't know who the hell they were.
Yeah.
And now that we're all off of furlough, I don't see him too much on streaming anymore. But no, man, yeah, you do a damn good program. People like coming in here and watching you. You have a good time with it.
Yeah.
I think you'd fit perfect in the airline world, man.
Yeah. Man, every time I drive by the airport, I'm like, oh man, I gotta join like the club over here and start hanging out with these guys and stuff.
Hey, just go to the hotel bar, you'll see us.
Yes, no, I meant like there's like some aviator clubs over here, places to get kind of your feet wet and hang out with all the local people in at least in my town that are flying planes over here. You know.
Oh damn, I ain't got nothing like that. What the hell?
No, yeah, there's a whole club over here I saw that people were like, "Oh yeah, you got to talk to these guys, go to their website, check this out." I'm like, "All right." Now I drive by the airport and I'm like, "Where are these guys?" I see all kinds of cool stuff going on, little planes flying around, and I'm like, "All right."
Yeah, that. I mean, seriously, man. If you go hang out at your FBO at your local airport, like or that whatever the bar or whatever you're talking about, hanging out with the guys.
Right.
There's a lot of those corporate guys. They fly planes that only require one pilot. So if you get in good one, they'll take you up with them.
Huh. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Yeah, you get a lot of you know, like not hands-on experience, but like a lot of visual stuff. And then if you go to school, it makes a lot more sense. Probably a little easier to
Oh yeah,
learn when you understand a lot more of this stuff and you've been in planes and seen all this stuff in action.
yeah, man. And like I said, I used to take people up all the time, and I'd let them fly. I didn't give a damn. Not at the airlines,
Oh,
but
well, of course, no,
yeah,
no. I mean,
yeah,
I tell you, I understand completely. At the airlines, you're 100% professional as well as funny, but still, absolutely.
yeah. But yeah, to get in good with those guys, man, they'll get you in there, take care of you, get you on the right path, and help you out, get you some flight time. It's all. It's seriously the airline or aviation world. It seriously is all about who you know. Guys can get you in with corporate jobs, get you some free flight time in places. Like that's how I got my CFII, my instrument instructor rating. I just
Hmm.
did a bunch of favors for guys, and guy that owned the plane, he's like, "Yeah, take that thing up, do your checkout. I ain't gonna charge you nothing."
Wow.
And they take care of their own. So you do favors for people. You can even go to the airport, and there's a bunch of guys that I knew they wash planes for guys to make money, and then that gets them to know people, and then those guys will take them up flying. There's just so many things you can do. And a lot of it just involves hanging out at the airport.
Hmm. Well, it's easy to get into the airport here. You just kind of hang out.
That's it, man. Go in the FBO and just chill out. Try to talk to some guys because we're pilots. Like I said, we're cocky bastards. We love talking about what we do,
Yeah.
and we like sharing it with people. Like I, I try to have kids come up. Flight attendants will ask, "Hey, do you care if these kids come up and see the flight deck?" I'm like, "Yeah, bring them up.
Yeah.
We'll take pictures with them and everything." Because the more people we get involved in it, yeah, you get to share it with people. Like I said, I love my job and I like sharing it with people.
They don't let me in the
So
fucking cockpit, man. Did I tell you that the
hey,
last time I asked to go in there, the lady was like, "Ha ha ha, that's for kids," and I was just like, I felt like I was like, "Oh shit," and I walked out. Yeah, there's my bad
no,
experience on an airplane.
yeah, screw that lady. No, I don't care how old you are. You can come up and talk to me, man.
Oh man, I all I wanted to do, I was like, I just want to look and see if everything's in the same place that I look at in the game. I'm like, oh, fuck this.
Oh no, yeah, hey, it's pretty accurate, but like I said, they do a damn good job of making the planes realistic, and everything's pretty spot on.
Awesome. One last thing, because then everyone wants me. I gotta take off and I gotta fuck with the scammer here in a minute. Do you ever feel like the plane is heavier on one side than the other? Is that a thing?
No, not really. I always make the joke about that, anyways, because I'm a bigger dude, and I was like, "Hey, you're gonna have to add a little bit more power on this taxi out," or like if we have a jump seater, I'll make the joke. Say, hey, in case of emergency, we have to go out one of these windows. You might want to follow the captain because chances are I'm getting stuck in this damn thing.
Oh my
Things
god.
like that. But no, you really don't notice. The regional jets, we did have to move passengers around depending on what our weight and balance was.
Right.
But in the bigger stuff, no, we don't have to worry about it at all. And
Okay.
if you do notice things are a little out, you just put a little trim in there, whether it's rudder trim or aileron trim, and
Right.
straighten it out. But nah, you really can't tell. Now, if everyone's back there jumping around or something like that, yeah, we're gonna feel that.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Oh, but that doesn't happen, right? No, that doesn't happen.
Dude, it's a party on our flights. What are you talking about?
Well, sure, yeah, of course, but I don't mean everyone's like jumping up and down. I mean, that would be something though if there was an airline that like had like a lot of room in the center and a disco ball and kind of like once you got up there, it was, a little bit of a party for a couple hours. Why
Hey,
can't why
Hooters
can't that
Airline
be a
used to do
thing? Why
party
can't
type
that be a
stuff.
thing? I don't understand.
No, I'm telling you, Hooters Airline, they used to do like games and stuff with the passengers back there.
Yeah, well,
Um, yeah, that I think they said that I've talked with pilots that flew for them, and they were like, that was the greatest airline ever. But
yeah.
the guy that owned it, I think he died, and his wife took it over, and she shut it down.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I would fly on Hooters Air, for the wings.
yeah, dang right for the wings.
Yeah, absolutely for the wings. And if they didn't have wings on those planes, I'd be really pissed. Really pissed. Really
Hey,
pissed.
Yeah, Burt Kreischer's trying to get him to bring Hooters Airlines back, so who knows? It might happen.
I'm gonna donate to the Kickstarter. I'm ready. Where is it? I'm in. I'm in. Hooters Airlines. You know what? If Hooters Airlines is coming back, I'm going to school. That's it.
That sealed the deal, huh? You're like, I'll fly for him for free.
Yeah. Someone just said they didn't serve wings. That they watched a YouTube video about that. How could you not serve wings on Hooters Airlines? First of all,
Oh, that's
how
just
could?
a disgrace.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. That's like no blue chips on the jet. Actually, last time I flew JetBlue, they didn't have blue chips. Fuck.
Huh. All right, hey, things are changing, man. But
Yeah.
no, so even though you had the Hooters girls on those Hooters, this is this captain telling me this that flew for him.
Yeah.
He said you had the Hooters girls, but you still had the flight attendants. And
Oh.
there was a guy in charge of hiring the flight attendants, and he said that this guy made sure that the flight attendants he hired were way hotter than the Hooters girls.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I thought that they'd be one and the same on those planes. Like the Hooters girls would be the flight attendants, but you know what?
Hey, that's
People
what
be
I
hitting
thought
that
too.
fucking button all like every 5 minutes. Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, I need this. I need that. You guys have milk on board? Yeah. Holy.
Yeah, I think that'd be the perfect airline for you, man.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna keep my eyes open if that comes back. But I do seriously consider it. These conversations make it sway more in that direction. But still so scared. There's something about it, but I don't know. Maybe it's
Hey, if
maybe
you're
it's
nervous about anything, man, I'm pretty sure you got my phone number. Just give me a call. Like I said, I'm always willing to talk to people about flying.
yeah.
I can try if you get into it and start studying. If you have questions about stuff, hell, you can call me. And same thing, go with your viewers if they want to message me on Twitch or whatever. I don't even know what my name is on there. I'll have to type something. Aviator
Aviator
Dan.
Dan
And,
00.
yeah. Oh, 3 zeros. All right.
There's three
I
zeros?
didn't know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know if I had the zeros on there or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, if anyone ever has questions, shoot me a message or something, or you can call me, man. Like I said, if you want to get into the flying world, I'll do whatever I can to help you get into it, help you study, whatever you need. You're good people. I enjoy talking with you, and I'd
Oh.
love to see you in the industry.
Oh man, that's great to hear. You're great. And Blingbot says if he ever recognizes your voice, he's buying you a drink. I'm actually when I make these videos and edit them, I hear your voice a lot in the past. I'm gonna hear it again later today, so I'm gonna remember it, man. If I ever hear it,
You'll start running. I got you.
yeah, I'll be like, shit, man. If I'm not gonna tell this guy who I am, he's gonna fucking embarrass me. Look what he does to his mother. He does to his mother, his wife. Oh man, forget it. I'm doomed.
No, if you're a passenger on the plane, man, everyone's gonna know about the Penis Airlines, Blood Air, and everything.
Yeah, this guy, he flies Penis Airlines. Yeah, it's foreign. Don't worry about it. And yeah, I don't know what kind of services they have on board. Yeah.
Hey, but I guarantee you, they go the full mile.
Oh, please, the whole full mile high. Trust me, we get there. Lickety split, no shit. We get you there. Don't worry.
That's all that matters, man.
Oh man, I love talking to you, and I guarantee we will do this again.
Yes, sir. Like I said, I'm willing to come on anytime you want to shoot the shit and talk about flying or hell anything. Like I said, I'm good at running my mouth. Whether the information I put out is accurate, who knows?
I think it's pretty
Like I said,
accurate.
It could just be talking out of my ass.
It seems to be pretty accurate so far, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, I might just be a good bullshitter, man. For all y'all know, I'm not even a pilot.
Oh my god. I'm gonna trust that you are, and Raunchy Fart told me you are, and I think yeah, I don't know. Tell us something only a pilot would know. I couldn't even verify that because only a pilot would know. I'm not a pilot.
Hey, everything's all over the internet, man. I don't even think there is anything that we know that y'all don't.
Yep, Aviator Dan here. He's really fast at Googling your questions and giving us answers instantly based on his personal experiences on Google.
Dang right, man. These fingers know how to work.
Oh my god, I hope so. All right, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Enjoy Memphis, please.
Hey, same to you, brother. All your viewers, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's, all of it. Hope people enjoy listening to me spout some BS, but I appreciate you having me on, man. Like I said, you're good people. Enjoy talking to you. Love seeing you do good things.
Absolutely. I appreciate the comment back. Thank you, man. Have a great day.
You too, brother.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, guys, we're back. And wow. Wow.